Well, hello there. Welcome back to Draft Bros weekly stream. Even though right now it's been like bi-weekly, still weekly. We love y'all. Glad to be. We had a couple of these schedule conflicts. So glad that we are back. Also gave Mr. Schmo time to finish up my favorite position in the draft, which is those corners. So, what is good, Elliot?
My name's not Elliot.
Well, Elliot said yo, so too bad.
Well, so did Daniel. You ain't say crap about him.
Daniel just popped up. Hi, Daniel.
It's been a long day for both of us.
Yeah, no, it's obviously like I have my job that we be balling with, and glad that we get to relax, kick back, talk corners, and also do some fun predictions, some bold NFL takes that we could just talk about off the rip.
Isn't it off the rip?
I mean, for me, it is. I mean, I'm perfectly fine just like, chatting it up and coming up with opinions on the spot because, I mean, honestly, like, I feel like nothing's too far-fetched. I have all my stuff for the teams and the players, but like it's not like I have like a massive list. You know how I do these things.
I hear that. So what do you want to start with then tonight?
What's up?
What do you want to start with tonight?
Whoa. Hello there, James. Honestly, I like to save dessert for last, even though technically I'm having it right now thanks to Ninja Creamy. It is orange. What is it? This is orange Italian ice. Gas. But I think that we should save the corners for last. Fuck.
Okay.
So I think we should start out.
I was hoping to whip up my takes while we were talking corners.
Well, then we could talk corners, and then we could have the bangs. We could have the explosions at the end.
There we can. Yeah, there we could have a legitimate conversation.
I mean, people always stay around for like the brain rot, anyways, over the actual analysis. So,
by the way,
screw it.
The stream's brought to you by Dr. Pepper.
What, do you work for Baylor now? Baylor's sponsored by Dr. Pepper.
Well, my wife just handed me a Dr. Pepper, so.
Well, mine's sponsored by Ninja Creamy. And I have to turn down the brightness on this thing because I am frying my eyeballs.
And you know what? The combination of the two, bring them together. Give me an orange Dr. Pepper. They had the coconut one.
Well, yeah. I said Fanta. That's Coca-Cola brand.
So let's start with corners. That way I can, I can look up stuff, and I don't know. Maybe by the end of it, we'll be so sick of one another that our bold predictions will be hot and heated.
That might be true.
Hot and heated.
Well, I mean, the ending part's true, but I don't think I'm gonna get sick of you. I haven't seen you in a while. I missed you, man.
I miss you too, dude. Since we've talked, or last streamed, I've gotten that tree out of my yard.
Hallelujah, dude. That was so scary. You're like, dude, this giant ass tree fell. And I'm like, there's no way.
And it's funny because then I hit you up after we got done streaming. I was like, dude, my power just went out again.
Like, it was perfect timing. So I'm glad that has been fixed in the meantime.
All right. Well, let's talk corners, and let's start at the top because I feel like at least maybe the first 2 to 3 might be cookie cutter. I haven't checked out your list.
Yeah, it's not going to be cookie cutter.
Oh, see, that's why I don't check out your stuff. I like coming in here and being surprised.
You just know. You know mine's not going to be cookie cutter.
I like coming in and being surprised.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to pop my rankings up here just so
I can tell you already looking at mine right now.
I kind of was. I was looking at wide receiver, though, because I was curious. And by the way, tackles are going to be fun to talk about. Because
Have we not talked about tackles?
We talked about some of them, but I ended up evaluating another 15 or 20 of them. So there's some dudes. I have 2 new top 4 tackles. So maybe we could toss that in like next week's episode after. Because tomorrow is going to be my big release of my tackle rankings. It's going to be a top 30.
Okay. So, oh wow. So I've gotten to the point where it's like I've watched all the guys that I wanted to.
Yeah.
and now it's just fun watching. Like, oh, here's a name. I'm gonna go try to find this guy. To be fair, I have to go back and look at Donovan Smith for Houston at quarterback.
Yeah,
because that was a name I've seen thrown around a ton, and I'm like, maybe I should have watched him before I did my quarterbacks. But
yeah, dude, this is gonna be nuts. This is gonna be a battle. I'm looking at yours, and I'm like, oh
my corners.
Goodness. Yeah, this is gonna be a crazy
playing
one.
Spoiler. Well, let's talk about number one, because if you don't have the same number one, then I don't know what we're doing here.
Yeah, you can just go off. Like, we both have the same one.
Okay, it's Will Johnson. In my opinion, I think he's the best prospect in the class. He's
really?
gonna be my number one. I mean, I think Mason
he's the best
Graham's
prospect I've ever evaluated. That's how much I love him.
Dude,
I think that dude's so good.
I literally this is what came to mind when after I got done with him.
Yeah.
I was like, this is what Alex felt after he watched Sauce.
Mm-hmm.
Because you were so gun-ho about Sauce, top best player in your freaking draft class. And I was like,
dude, literally.
I see it now. And I liked Sauce.
Yeah.
I didn't like Sauce.
Yeah.
But you were like, the best.
That was my guy.
And that's essentially what Will Johnson is, man. The movement skills are freaky.
Yeah.
I think he does a really good job of baiting quarterbacks in. Not necessarily like he's just like a zone guy, but he could do press, man. He just wasn't asked to do a lot of that. Though Wink Martindale, he's in town. He's the DC. What does he like? He likes press and he likes man. We're going to be seeing a little bit of that this year. But in zone coverage, mainly off coverage for Michigan, I thought he did a really good job of just knowing how deep to play, like knowing his depth and not playing out of that position, being in a good position to make a play on, whether if it was like a high low. Like he understands concepts and whatnot. You never catch him lacking. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Never catch him lacking. And I said good movement skills. The guy's 6'2", 202.
Yeah,
kind of nuts.
God.
So good ball skills.
What's your comp for him?
I haven't got in there yet. I've seen a popular one is Patrick Surtain, and I'm not going to disagree with that.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
I just comped him to an alien. I just didn't think it's just not normal.
No, I actually have an alien comp already in this class. So.
Oh, you do?
Really?
Like, is it in this group or?
Yeah, this group. I think there's someone who's just an alien in terms of build and movement skills.
Are you talking about Tacario?
We could get there when we get there.
We'll have a conversation about that because I partially agree with you on that one. Okay. I'm excited. I'm excited to see that.
Honestly, everything with Will Johnson, like if you're going to talk cons, is kind of nitpicks. Like, press technique, didn't play a lot of press. We'll see more of it this year. Yeah. Attacking the ball when vertically down the field. To be fair, the dude wasn't attacked a lot. I put also inconsistent finisher. He's a guy that's a mean tackler, so naturally that missed tackle rate's going to be a bit higher, but it's nothing I'm scared of. 13.8% over his career is a fine number for a corner. I'm not threatened by it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, literally, can't really refute anything you said.
Actually, a good point by Signaler. I'm probably butchered that, but he was playing not at 100%. I think was it the shoulder? No, it was a knee. I think it was a knee that was. He ended up getting
wearing a knee brace at one time.
Yeah, because I think he got. I know he missed some of spring practice.
Yeah,
because he got surgery on the knee, but I wasn't sure if that was the same thing that bothered him during the season. But
so me right now, but. Yeah, Will Johnson. He was the first player outside the quarterback room that I studied in this class, and I didn't look back. Like, genuinely jaw dropped for this guy. So I don't. Did you watch the game versus Purdue last year?
No, that probably would have been a good one with Burke.
Dude, like the thing is, I think I ended up posting it on my Twitter as well.
I did, of course, Ohio State because you had to.
You got it. I did for Will. I did Ohio State, Purdue. Well, because I did Purdue because I was looking at Denzel or not Denzel Burke, but what's his name? Burks, the receiver, Dion. There you go. Yeah, I was looking at Dion Burks and I was like, well, let's check this one out. But then I also ended up looking at Washington because I was like, why did you have some slip ups there? So, I mean, I fell in love with him trying to watch the worst games possible, and he ended up with a higher level of scrutiny with my grading scale. He ended up scoring the same, if not higher, than Sauce. So,
yeah, no,
he's awesome.
Are you on the number 1 overall big board train?
Yeah.
Okay,
no,
cool.
He's the best prospect I've ever studied.
That's great. We've started at a similar spot with that. I love it.
We're gonna split right here.
Yeah, I kind of figured.
Not much.
I'm not gonna lie. My number 2, I wouldn't mind dropping him.
All right, that's an interesting way to start out by my number 2. You probably get rid of him.
Well, because like I'm confident in where my number 3 is gonna play, so I didn't know if I should put my 3 ahead of my 2. Like,
I can see what you mean. But
yeah,
I have your 3 at my 2.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you talk about Benjamin Morrison.
Ben Morrison, Notre Dame boundary corner, the second player outside of the quarterbacks that I studied in this class. So talk about like really bang bang. He's my number 2 player in the class as well. So I got number 1 and number 2 back to back here. I think he's extremely well balanced. He's not the biggest guy on planet Earth. Was he 186? Like he's sub 190.
I got him at 190.
He's now up to 190. Okay, well,
Notre Dame lists him at.
Okay, well, I did this back before Notre Dame had their stats up, so maybe he's up to 190 now. But preseason, he was listed at 186 pounds at 6 foot flat, and 6 flat, perfectly fine with me. 186, honestly fine. So we're just talking about him compared to Will Johnson here. I think that he's actually stickier in man coverage, but when it comes to processing the field and zone, he's still really, really solid. It's just not to the same level of Will Johnson.
It's not fair.
It's not fair. We're talking about literally the highest graded zone coverage corner that I've studied. I think there's 2 corners that I have higher zone coverage grade than him. And so, I mean, being tied for 4th place in all the corners in the one spot where he is weaker is freaking awesome. So I really like him. He's not the best, in my opinion, in terms of run support, but it's far from an actual issue. I think he's a superstar, and, I think he's going to be a really good boundary corner for a while.
See, that's the thing. It's like, I don't know if this corner could play run support. Can they cover? It's like, let's worry about that later. Let's go over the more important thing.
Right.
I did note play strength was an issue for him last year. I thought it did show up just not just in coverage, but when
with
playing the run, taking on blocks, being a consistent finisher as a tackler, which is why, because my number 2 is Travis Hunter. And I feel like they're very identical in that regard, where it's like a play strength. Like you got the wiry frame of Hunter, but they both have really good ball skills. Like I think they both got a really good feel for zone.
I think, yes. So that was the guy who I have higher graded. There's one and one other that I have higher graded. Travis Hunter is one of them.
Yeah. It's just with Hunter, I'm gonna be honest, man. I think he's gonna go through the process
as a receiver.
He's either going to do that or he's going to just try to do it as both. Yeah, I really think corner only is not in the cards just because of how highly
the value
paid, wide receiver is.
Yeah, the value differential is ridiculous.
But just I think he's a better corner than receiver, but that's not really saying much.
I know. Elliot asked that question earlier, so I was like waiting for us to talk about that point. I think Travis Hunter is actually a fine receiver, but
yeah, he's good. He was I think wide receiver 4.
I think so. We ended up talking about that in our last video, so feel free to go check that out.
Yeah, I mean that's a cool thing. Wide receiver ball skills, you literally see it out there, and it's like it's so hard to take his some of his corner tape,
right?
Like in the 4th quarter. Where he's gassed. Honestly, to be fair, Io Manor, he was doing a solid job, but it was really that 4th quarter where he just took over and just started dusting poor Travis Hunter.
Alec went and feasted when he could feast. I'll say that.
Yes. So I don't know. I felt like the fourth quarter was a bit of a. This isn't exactly what you're going to be getting because he's already played 150 snaps at this point.
Right. But
so then, who's
still,
your number
it's
3? I was going to say, who's your number 3?
My number 3 is someone that you have listed as a 4th rounder. I'll let you guess.
Okay.
He's part of a good corner.
And you said this guy's good in zone?
He's primary man.
Primary man? Okay. Just trying to.
He's a press man.
Solid athlete. Because I got is it White?
No. White I have listed as my corner. I have him as corner 20.
Corner 20.
Yeah.
Big hate for me with him is just size and play strength.
Well, I thought
maybe he's more quick and explosive than actually fast.
That's very true. That's how I feel.
Dude, man, I don't know. Because I don't think Strong's a man corner. I could see
Dorian is corner 24.
Oh, 24? Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. This is another guy that's like weak. Not weak, but thin and
just not someone who's going to be known for his physicality.
Yeah. Like I love Kobe Bryant, but there ain't no way.
I love him. That's not him. It's not the guy, but like I do. I love Kobe.
Dude, if he was like just 10 pounds heavier.
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, we had Nate Stickbug Wiggins weigh in at 172. I mean, to be fair, it's to run a 4.2, but
yeah, but
Kobe brings the beef, dude.
Yeah. Wow. So is it Muhammad?
It's Davison Igbinison.
Oh my gosh, dude. That would have been the last guy I would have guessed.
I freaking love this guy.
Did you read my eval of him?
I did not.
Good. At the end of it, I was like, I think he's a safety.
That's very interesting. But no, definitely don't agree with that.
I mean, he could take a big jump up, but like,
dude, I mean, I think he was better than Denzel Burke, and I love Denzel Burke. Like, I studied Davison Igbinison out of like, originally necessity because I was like, screw it, I'm already watching Burke. So,
I don't know. Before I butcher his name, let me look up the.
I'm trying to like finally Igbinosun. Yeah. Like, so my notes like versus Purdue because he went toe to toe with Deion Burks. So he has slow reactions to runs. He crutches with physicality a little bit more than I'd like. He does a beautiful job.
He's like the personification of physicality, dude.
Yeah, he is. He had a nice pass breakup, but he needs to get his head around faster. His Achilles heel is slant routes. So he has great recovery on double moves. Top speed seems to be a little bit limited. And then that game, he ended up being a little injured. But, I mean, overall, I really did love his game. I thought it was very well balanced. And that's versus a top-end route runner who I have a lot of respect for.
Yeah, my big gripe with him was just freaking
overly physical.
Oh, my gosh, dude. That's why I was like, ooh, box safety? Maybe safety in general?
He doesn't have that size, in my opinion.
I mean, he's one of the youngest guys in this class. He's going to be 21.
He'll probably return. If I could put my money on someone returning out of like my top 10, it would be Davison.
Yeah. And I mean, he's 6'2". He's got room to put, like, he could get to 200, no problem.
Yeah, he does. He's a little bit lanky. I think also Denzel Burke can even add a little bit extra pounds. They do have a little room in their arms to grow, but
I think that's like the thing in this class. There's a lot of guys with a lot of room on their frame to add weight. Like, this is a bigger class, like at least a longer class. Like, it's not as small height wise.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't think that he's going to be someone that you want to leave on an island in terms of no safety help, because if you're putting him versus a really good athlete, I think he could get beat over the top, but really smooth overall in terms of his transitioning. His processing of the game is pretty solid minus the run support, and he's physical as hell. So I think that if a guy uses physicality a lot, you better be able to change directions, because if you're using physicality because you're freaking stiff as hell, that's going to be something that gets called out in the NFL more than college. But If you can move and change directions, then I think I would be willing to teach a physical player how to be physical.
Yeah. I initially had him as a third round grade, because it was like, okay, let me see more of this guy. Let me see what another year looks like with him. Mm-hmm. And then I felt like I started really liking the corner class. I ended up dropping him a couple of spots.
Sure.
Just some of the guys that just have more.
It's a really good class.
Yeah, it's a really good class. And there were some names I wish I got to, but
yeah.
Okay,
so I'm curious. I know that you don't grade guys the same way I do, but in terms of the role, how many corners would you say coming into the NFL are going to be fringe starters or starters, or above fringe starters? So basically, a corner
right
on the boundary,
right out the bat.
Yeah, guys who are worthy of getting snaps off the bat.
Okay,
not actual full snaps, but that and upwards of,
Well, I
the
feel
floor is you'll get some snaps.
At the corner position, it's kind of easier to rotate those guys in and get them Marietta snaps.
You know what I'm saying, though? Worthy of the talent. Not
okay. I would say typically there's 7 to 10 guys.
Yeah.
And then those that actually are starters, probably 5. The others are maybe floating with slot, or they come in. They're battling out for that corner 2.
Yeah. Yeah, the battling out for corner 2 is a guy who I think is a fringe starter. Corner 2, corner 3 range.
I mean, again, that kind of change, in terms of that changes throughout the NFL. But again, we're just doing a baseline.
Spitballing. Yeah. No, for me, I have 15 guys that are graded fringe or above, which is really, really solid. But they're all super different. So I'm curious. I forgot the rest of your list. So at this point, I'm just
perfect.
Well, I know the next guy I have is also a 4th or a 5th round pick to you.
Oh, I know. I bet you I know who that is.
I'm curious. Okay, but your number 3.
Let me talk about my number. My number 4.
Yeah, go to your number 4.
Is Tacario Davis, the guy that I think is a bit of an alien, because 6'4", 194, and with those long limbs, he's got good long speed. Might not be initially fast,
right?
But if it's a vertical route, first off, if you could get past him off line of scrimmage, then good luck at speed. But he's got the ability to catch up and the length to make up for any ground he has lost and whatnot. I thought the movement skills were much better than I expected for a 6'4" corner.
Right.
So, and honestly, I could say that about his teammate as well. I thought they both actually, for bigger corners, moved really well. Prysock.
Yeah.
I thought Davis ultimately was the better athlete, had the better ball production. This guy dropped a myriad of interceptions last year. And if he could turn some of those incompletions into picks, watch out. Can be legit. Just in terms of just what he brings from an athletic and physical tools standpoint, and just already the production he showed last year, I think he's phenomenal. I think he's going to be a top 20. And I think he's going to be a first round almost lock. I'm willing to say he'd be a first round lock.
It's hard to say lock just because
it is hard. I would say
if he tests slow, it's there's always a chance that some other dude gets
I would say Johnson, Hunter, and Morrison are locks for the first round. After that, it's and Hunter is a lock just because we don't know what the hell he's going to be.
Right, and he's the number 1 corner coming out of school. I think was he a number 1 player coming out of high school? Yeah. So, Tacario, I really like him. I'll only push back on the fact that I think that Ephesians Prysock might be slightly, very, very, very minutely the better athlete, only because of the fact that I think his explosiveness is slightly better and his change of direction is slightly better. Not the top speed. I like Tacario Davis's long speed, but something about his physicality, I noted that he tends to lean on his physicality when he loses confidence and he doesn't use it properly. But something I love the most about Tacario is the fact that he processes when guys are breaking so quickly, probably better than any other corner in the class, not named Will Johnson. So I really do love that about him, and I think that's why he got so many pass breakups.
We might as well not even mention him. He's a different tier.
Right? Yeah, I know. Like, yeah,
he's in a galaxy far, far away.
That's why he's an alien. But, but Tecario, I mean, something I do have my concern with is he's a bit stiff when changing directions vertically. I think the reason why he has so many like pass breakups and why he has good ball production is because quarterbacks will see that there will be a gap because he's trying to change direction, and they'll throw it, and he has the length and the top and the ability to recover, and he's doing it at the right time to where he can cause the pass breakup or the interception. My only concern is in the NFL, I think quarterbacks will respond far better, far more accurately, and with a far faster ball. And I'm not saying that's a guarantee that he won't have the same production, but if it doesn't work the same way at the NFL level, that might be the reason. It might just be like literally tenths of a second. So I love him though. He's my number 10 corner, but it's a really tight group.
So then you already went over your top 4, correct?
Top 3. We talked about Hunter. Hunter's not in my top 4.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's fair.
Well, I mean, to be fair, he is my second best graded zone coverage corner. So, I mean, hey, we're talking about holistic here.
So,
yeah. What do you think is my number 4?
Your number 4?
Correct. I really do like Ephesians. I have him as I lied, dude. I have him as a worse athlete than Tecario Davis. I stand corrected. So
I mean, they're not far off, though. They're not far off.
Not far off, but Tecario is the superior athlete. I was meaning more so holistically in terms of the change of direction. I think that Ephesians has Tecario beat, and both of them are 6'4".
I put here he's a more fluid athlete than
He's more fluid than Tecario, but top end speed not there. But very, very smart in zone coverage. He's someone who I actually could trust in the slot. I don't know why. He actually moves just so fluidly that I think that his length could actually work really well in the slot.
Well, with his run defense too, it's not a terrible idea.
Oh, yeah. No, like really, really strong in the run defense, strong application of physicality, nothing that I really see an issue with. Like the majority of his grade apart from run support is really solid, nothing special. Athleticism, underwhelming, and then run support, awesome. So a good balance there. Nothing that's too crazy for him, but he's somebody that if you need to start him right away, I think that he can hold his own if you have that safety coverage over the top.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 5.
Number 5, I got Siobhan Ravel out of East Carolina. Made Bruce Feldman's freaks list for good reason, man. He is long. He is athletic. He is a very fluid mover. He's got a good nose for the football as well. Last season, 10 pass breakups, just kind of a ludicrous number. Fierce competitor too. Plays with that dog in him. He's willing to come downhill and doesn't necessarily always make the play, but he's got a tenacity to him where you can't really hold him on blocks. Well, if you're a receiver, even a bigger one, it's going to be difficult to hold him on a block. Dude's even got special teams experience. Like he had 2 blocked field goals last year. Kind of nuts.
That's great. That's a big plus.
He was offered 6 figures in NIL money to move to multiple Power 5 schools. He decided to stay at East Carolina.
Interesting.
That's what I said. I was like, what? Come again?
Yeah. I will say Siobhan is one of the few that I did not study. So I'm excited to hear more about him.
Yeah, I saw he was on Bruce Feldman's freaks list, and I was like, literally, I think I noted 20 players on Bruce Feldman's freaks list and added them to my spreadsheet as like, hey, try to watch. For the most part, those are guys I want to go back and watch that at least have a good tasteable sample size.
Right.
So
okay. Huh.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Did Vass or Caddies have them?
I can't remember. I have to look that up.
Okay, because I was like, I thought I wanted to watch him. I'll have to watch him after
I'm gonna
this.
check Vass right now. But
if
I had one critique, well, on a side note, it was kind of cool because he was initially like a 0-star recruit because academically he wasn't eligible, so he had to go the JUCO route.
Yeah,
and he ends up being a 3-star JUCO, and goes to ECU. So I don't know if there's like an allegiance there. Like he just feels, obligated. This is the team that gave him a shot in the FBS, but
yeah.
The anticipation could be a bit better. There's a lack of bulk, but he's got the room to fill out on that frame.
Hey, 6'3", 193 is a good weight, man.
It is, but you're gonna look at him and you'll be like, okay, he's long, and I think that's why
they're faking it. We already know they're pulling a USC.
They're pulling USC. And what else did I put here? Level of competition, of course. It's the AAC. Trick. Actually, I'm gonna check on Vass's real quick. Because the first thing I watched was the Michigan game. And I'm pretty sure I did that via looking through Michigan.
Yeah, no, he has all the okay, well, that's exactly what I'm going to watch after this then. Because that guy, like, I respect your opinion, especially on guys that you are that passionate about. So I definitely want to take a peek.
I keep going to huddle instead of hurdle. What do I do to myself?
Well, while you do that, like, we can bounce back. My number 5 guy, I don't think I saw him on your list, Azariah Thomas, Florida State corner.
Azariah. Yeah, no. I don't even think I have him.
Yeah, I didn't see him listed in yours. He actually had a healthy amount of reps. Like, Florida State rotated their corners a lot. But big, bulky, and very, very athletic. Looking at his weight, 6'2", 194, so a healthy weight, and he's just really sticking man coverage. You could tell he's kind of new. He has a green thumb to him when it comes to like overall processing, zone coverage, and being able to know when a run is happening. His run support's a little bit on the weaker side, but he flies. He's one of those guys that you will not beat deep, and at 6'2", 194, that's pretty damn special. He's actually extremely fluid as well, and he's just developing. He just doesn't have enough true starting experience, and I think he's going to accelerate up boards. He's going to be my little dark horse.
I was going to say, yeah, like what was the starting experience on that guy? Because you had Green and Jones come out this year, but then also across was Cypress.
Yeah, so he rotated in. Like, I'm going to pull up the amount of reps he was taking per game, but it was actually a healthy amount. Yeah, it was. So Azariah. Sick name, by the way. He's Wanya Thomas's cousin or brother. It's one of the two. I know that Wanya was interacting with me, but yeah, I mean, like, I'm looking at these games versus Georgia, the game he started. I also studied that one. He played 63 reps, so he has one start. So good on him. But I mean, we're talking about a minimum. His lowest snap count on the year was 21 reps, and he played every game. Like, lowest was 21. The second lowest was 26. So he was playing like a healthy amount of snaps per game.
Okay.
Which now he's listed at 6'2", 198, by the way. He added some weight. But he was a true sophomore.
Nice.
So I'm excited about him.
Okay, so number 6 for me?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I got Mansour Delane.
Yeah.
Speaking of, like, you know how I said, like, with Igbin Noson?
Igbinison, yeah.
Yeah, it was like
Davison.
Physical personification of just physicalness. That's Delane. Delane hits hard, man. He comes in, he wants to hit. The dude is a big hitter, mean hitter too. Has delivered some crushing blows. He's long, he's athletic. I think he's got some pressability to him. It's just, Virginia Tech, they play a lot of off zone,
right?
But he's shown quite a bit of versatility. He's lined up, not just on the outside, primarily on the outside, but he also has snaps like in the slot, in the box, and deep.
Yeah.
So, like, just everywhere. Like, right now with him, it's just a bunch of tools. I feel like the anticipation might not be there, but also like, I feel like it might be better if he played more man coverage.
Yeah.
He can't be over aggressive as a tackler. That leads to whiffs. I get it, but last year, 16.2% missed tackle rate. Not terrible.
Yeah.
But it is get in there. It's getting to a little high. I do want to see more ball skill stuff with him, which I think part of that is his anticipation, where he could be a tick slow to get to plays. And I think another part of that is he wants to hit.
Yeah.
So like he'll look to just like rock the receiver and then rather actually make a play on the ball. But I think he's got the ability to do that. And he was far more tested than Strawn was. So
yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I like the tools a ton with him. And plus, man, dude, you just felt like a mean, nasty player. And that made me feel a certain way. 6'1", 187. I get it.
Yeah. I mean, he's my corner 25. I wanted to love him more. I like VT players, man.
I was going to say, you're down on the Virginia Tech players.
I know. It really sucks. I was kind of hoping. You know me. I like these like smaller name players, especially from smaller schools. I mean, I'm a sucker for VT. So
they used to be good back in the day. Frank Beamer, baby.
I know. But yeah, I just thought like the biggest thing that bugged me about him was the fact he just looked very uncomfortable in zone coverage and just kind of processing the field. He really is supposed to be just a man-to-man guy. And yeah, I mean, he has tools, but for me, I mean, that's the beauty of this class is you can fall in love with a lot of players, and I'm sure like the talent is never not going to be there.
Yeah.
So my 6 was Travis Hunter. We already discussed that. Just basically, I think he is an extremely high IQ corner with surprisingly poor ball production for the ball skills he has. But regardless, I think he's a little bit capped out on his overall top end speed. And it's kind of surprising. I think it also might be due to the fact that he has a little bit more gas taken out of the tank. But relatively explosive, extremely smart, has obviously everything that you probably want in terms of tools for a corner. But you're just really hoping that he can actually play at that 185 and that, he contests balls a little bit better. I did really see him lacking in the contested catch game, which was so surprising because as a receiver, he is absolutely dominant. So to me, it didn't really make sense on that behalf. But
yeah, the ball skills weren't terrible though.
No, they weren't terrible, but like comparatively to being like arguably the best ball skills statistically that you'll see for a receiver, it was like, oh, okay. Well, I was kind of hoping for some Tacario Davis type numbers.
I mean, he was like the leader in like I think pass deflections. What do you have?
Right.
Like,
yeah, he's a beast. I really do. I love Tacario, especially if he gets to go to a zone system.
Oh yeah,
like he's gonna
cover 3, dude.
Oh my God.
Just have him press cover 3. Put him in Mike Zimmer's system right now.
yeah, dude. I'd be so excited to see Tacario over in Dallas. That'd be sick. But
so number 7.
Number 7, I'll go for it because I just pretty much did some BS re-highlight of Travis Hunter. Denzel Burke. Burke.
Okay, let's talk about him.
Yeah, Mr. Reliable. Was he like
my number 7?
Oh, there you go. We're back. 1 and 7. Denzel Burke's Mr. Reliable. I did not have a single aspect of his game that I didn't like. I know he's dealt with some health concerns in the past. He had that little bit of sophomore slump. But the thing I love the most about Denzel and a lot of players that deal with these struggles is like when I watch how they progress during the year, like you start out slow, like do you at least get back to a version of yourself when you were hot the year before? And he did. So I love the fact that he bounced back. And then this year, I mean, especially versus Michigan, there was one double move by Roman Wilson that always sticks out to me. Like he just felt so much more calm and in control of the rep than I really would have expected given his previous experience. So for me, that's a ton of growth and, patience and confidence is a super big thing for me for corners. So big fan of his game.
Yeah. Yeah. I basically put long, fast athlete, legit jumps very well, packs some power in his hands, plays like a dog, plays with no fear. Tackling style can be inconsistent, but he's an aggressive tackler.
Yep.
So it makes sense that there's more missed tackles
right
to his repertoire. I did put here, I want more of those incompletions to turn into interceptions. I didn't feel like he had turned his head a lot, like on intermediate and long routes.
Yeah.
So maybe seeing him come away. Like I said the same thing, and I said this in my cornerback video about like Jeff Okuda coming out. I was like, man, he's good, but man, I feel like
you get your head around.
If he could turn some of these incompletions into interceptions, because he's got the time.
Yeah. We'll talk about it in a minute, but Dalen Everett is the personification of dude does not turn his head around. But
I think that might be more of a
looks to the side. But
it is cute.
It's cute. Like for me, I love corners. Like they're my thing. So turning your head around is kind of crucial. Because like that's how you make Nate Wiggins in the preseason game versus the Eagles, the dude turned his head around, he probably had 2 picks. So it's like,
I agree. Sorry, my wife wanted to show me my daughter, one of my daughters, my youngest daughter. Yeah. She's in her high chair, like eating, but she's like,
oh, she like slumping?
She's starting to pass out. Everett, I would say the difference with Everett is I think he's a less as good athlete.
Oh, I agree. I was just saying like the principle of don't turn your head around. It was my biggest qualm with Everett, but he's down my board a little bit.
Yeah, mine too. I'll go into my number 8 since we kind of covered number 7.
Yeah.
I have Quincy Riley out of Louisville.
I really like that. Yeah. He's a good player.
He's good. He's fast as hell. Track speed. Legitimate track speed.
You think so? I know his top speed's there, but his explosiveness, I just didn't see it.
Really?
Yeah. I thought it was actually a little bit lacking.
Okay. That's
especially in like the short game. I don't know. I really like him, but continue.
Okay. I put here because dude was South Carolina boys 4A track player of the year in 2019. Started his career in Middle Tennessee State, the Blue Raiders, baby. Are they still Middle Tennessee State or just Middle Tennessee?
It's it's MTSU.
Okay, that's what I thought. Played 3 years there. Came to Louisville, was a full-time starter last season, and was pretty good, man. He had 3 interceptions, 10 pass breakups, only allowed 1 touchdown. He has one of the lowest completion rates allowed in this class from last year with 36.5%. He also has return ability, but hasn't done any return stuff with Louisville, but he has with like the Blue Raiders and in high school. I think he's got a good general feel for coverage. That's why he's been able to get to the ball fairly well. The ball skills, like over the last 3 years, 2021, 2022, 2023, 11 interceptions, 19 pass breakups. Just a good feel for coverage. I put here he lacks play strength, which I do think there were a couple of guys here. So? I do.
Really? I saw insane application of physicality.
Really? I thought he was good at like coming downhill and getting his nose in the action.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel like he did a good job of not necessarily navigating like traffic or anything, but like getting off blocks or like here I also put his ability in actual like press or man. I felt like sometimes he just if a player was bigger than him or was willing to out physical him, then he was kind of at a loss there. That he'd rather just try to out athlete the person or just try to like run and stay in phase rather than trying to use his hands to kind of slow him down. But he put on bulk. I think he's one of these guys that they were 5 to 10 pounds lighter last year compared to what they're listed as now. So again, don't know until they hit the field. These listed weights kind of fluctuate and whatnot. Like there's a lot of guys. Like we were just talking about Benjamin Morrison.
Yep.
Listed at
and Ezra Thomas was listed is like boosted as well by 5 pounds.
Yeah. Like I think the want to play physical there. I just don't necessarily think the play strength is always there.
Okay. We'll agree to disagree on that. Something I loved about Quincy Riley, though, was his IQ. Apart from the alien, he is by far the second highest in terms of instincts I've seen in the class. I saw a particular play where he was playing a cover 3, like deep third, and he actually bailed on it to cover for basically a blown coverage from from the middle safety. So I really do love the fact that he processes both his area of the field and what he's supposed to do as well as others. I saw him point out a couple of missed assignments to other players as well. I'm really hoping that the track speed ends up showing up more to me in my studies because that'll only give him a higher grade, but it's kind of hard apart from that to give me a much more positive opinion of his game because I really do love what's between the ears. And there was a play where he actually diagnosed a screen before it even developed. I ended up posting that as well. Like that to me was just something special. I don't see cornerbacks essentially process the way that Quincy Riley does. And if he ever has struggles as a corner, I have no doubt that he could be a really, really top tier safety because he is extremely smart and he's someone who could be a field general.
So it just clicked. Some of the other players that were listed bigger than they were, like Aiden White was one guy because NC State has him at 189.
Mm-hmm.
And I think last year he was listed at like 175, 178. Yeah.
So wait, what clicked?
Oh, that just clicked. I was like, what other players did I have here? I was like, wow, this is such a disparity in what they're listed at now from what they were listed at then or looked like they were weighing then.
My number 8 corner is Kobe Bryant. I
love Kobe Bryant, man.
I give him a -4 plus 0 to get him to the spot. I tanked his grade because that he is a stick, but he delivers the stick, man. I mean, like this dude will deck receivers 30 pounds heavier than him and does not care. I love that about him. I mean, he's a very balanced corner. I don't think that he is like top tier in either man or zone coverage, but I think that he is like that tier below, like that B tier for both. And I love the balance there. I think he's extremely, extremely athletic, as he should be when, you're pretty much having 0 wind resistance because you have 0 things for the wind to resist.
What a way to put it.
Yeah. But like, he's a smooth athlete as well. I think that when he analyzes the runs coming, he, for some reason, is a formidable threat, and he is unbelievably physical. So
very.
I mean, for someone who's 170 in that 170 range, it's like he plays so much larger. And if you just like ended up putting some like pieces of styrofoam that like looked realistic, and then just told me he was 185, I'd be like, yeah, that checked out.
He's like a Chihuahua that acts on their bark. Because, like, you know how Chihuahuas have those, like, Napoleon complexes of bark and everything?
Yeah.
He's actually one that's like, oh, no, I ain't just bark. Mm-hmm. Here comes the bite. Like, again, it just comes down to, like, you're a stick.
Mm-hmm.
That size just doesn't.
Nate Wiggins. That's all that matters, man.
Wiggins was down to run fast.
Yeah, he was at that 180 range.
So, I mean, I'm not too worried about that. He can't get too handsy. He can't be too physical, but
yeah, these guys rely on physicality, but he's not stiff. So that combination makes me fine. It's not over reliability.
All right. So my number 9 is Tommy Hill. Out of Nebraska.
I really like Tommy Hill. Yeah, I liked him.
Yeah, I mean, he's just like built well, good athlete.
Yeah.
6 foot, 205.
Yep.
Formerly of Arizona State, spent 1 year there, and like many other players are like, screw this crap.
Yeah.
Decided to go chill with Matt Rule as he builds up the Huskers. So hell yeah. Let's go. Yeah. But great build, good athleticism. The ball skills are there, but he's a former receiver. He was actually playing receiver as early as the beginning of last season.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't make the full-time transition until I think about 4 games in.
Yep.
And I mean, for what it is, dude, the ball skills were good. 6 pass breakups, 4 interceptions.
Yep.
He brings return experience. I saw a lot of good things about him as like his character. So that's always good to see. I put here a few of the negatives. His man coverage just doesn't have a great feel of when to use his hands. And I think a lot of that has to do with when he's not in press.
Sure.
So if he's in off coverage, given a cushion, he doesn't know when to or how much should I when receivers get to like their break or the stem, the route or whatever. I put his change of direction is fine, not elite, not high end. It's all right. It's good. And then I just put limited reps. The next year will be legitimately his full time at corner. So I think he's someone with the potential to just fly up boards.
Yeah. I mean, I really liked Tommy when I was watching him. I thought I ended up forgetting which game I was like, I'm quoting from, but there was a game where he started out really hot. And I was like, oh my God, this guy is like going to be one of my top guys. He's my number 21 corner in the class. I still really like him. It's really close between being 21 and being 16. So it's like, it's just part of that group. But I thought that, one of the things that caught my eye was the lack of confidence after getting beaten. I didn't see him commit as like harshly to, or like commit as, with the same volition the way he did at the start of the game. And I really wish that he did, because that's where I started falling in love with him, because I think he could make the right decision. And I think sometimes he loses confidence in himself.
Yeah. And I think part of that's being
younger,
relatively new to the
younger,
position.
like greener at the position, 100%.
Yeah. Greener,
great motor. I
Yeah.
saw like some articles on him where he was basically being told by Matt Rule to sit out. He's like, F you, dude. Like, put me back in. So, like, I love that. That's something that I would want on my starting corner. So definitely someone who you want on your roster. But he's a bit stiff. He is a bit stiff. Change of direction is not great.
Yeah. It's not like terrible. I don't want to allude to I'm saying that. It's just like, it's just not,
Yeah,
Will Johnson.
It's not, yeah, I mean, I have it as like the lower tier, but it's not like in the bad zone. Like I would say Fentrell Cypress that we may get to, that's the bad zone for me. That's like stiff.
Yeah, I remember with Fentrell Cypress when he was at Virginia, and I was like, yeah, man, he's a good athlete. He's faster than I think it was Anthony Johnson on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
To which Anthony Johnson, I think, ran like a 4.7. And I was like, probably not a great comparison in hindsight.
It's like, you're right, but like at what cost?
So, who's your number 9?
Well, we both ate at the same time. My number 9 is Jabbar Muhammad. My number 9 is Jabbar Muhammad. Like, I love this guy. I think that is one issue. Like, he's explosive. He's feisty. I actually compared him to mini Jair Alexander. Because he has a size. He's 5'10", and he's a feisty, athletic corner. Like, what do you expect? But he is just so smooth as an athlete. Like, really buttery smooth. That doesn't sound right, but it is what it is. The one thing I have an issue with is the fact that this dude, I swear, I'll be using an analogy, horse blinders. He focuses on what he has to do and doesn't really understand what else is going on around him. And I saw that get the best of him in zone coverage. He just doesn't really process the field very well. The guy who he's covering is locked down, but the moment he has to really process the rest of the play that's going on around him, that's where those are the very few aspects of the game that he doesn't do necessarily overly well. And then also run support, don't really trust him too much, but he's also not the biggest guy on planet Earth.
Yeah. No, Muhammad's great. He's not too far off.
Yeah.
For me. I mean, again, a lot of that is the lack of size. Does he end up being a slot? Honestly, I feel like he's probably going to, like, he
can stick ends up. But he can't be a slot.
Yeah, he could maybe stick at the boundary, but I feel like at that size, his just level of competitiveness.
And he's fluid, so yeah, I think he could easily work at slot.
Yeah. So yeah, that'll be interesting. I liked him a lot. He was a guy that I was talking about last year quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. He was really good at Washington.
Yeah, I was going like back to back in those Oregon games. I was just like, golly, freaking love this dude.
Yeah.
My number 10?
I think so. Did you talk? You didn't talk. You talked about your 9. Yeah.
Yeah. Is Maxwell Harrison
Ooh,
out of Kentucky? Yeah. Well, you're a mark for Kentucky.
Not this time.
I need to start. Oh, really? I was gonna say, wow, I need to start being a mark, maybe. So I got here with him. He is 6'1", 186. I said he was a pretty explosive athlete.
Mm-hmm.
Does a good job diving on just kind of like coming downhill and squeezing underneath routes, which kind of led to some ball skill, at least ball skill opportunities. He had 5 interceptions, 2 of which were pick sixes last season. A very good run defender, which, I mean, this was giving me like Andrew Phillip vibes, where it was like, oh yeah, these guys from Kentucky, they're really good coming downhill and making plays on the ball. So
yeah, physicality
wise, but where things started to differ with Phillips, well, one, you got the slender build, but I think a lot of his stuff was just anticipation, man. Like, he sometimes just leaves too much of a cushion with receivers, and there are other times where he just gets caught flat-footed at the top of the break, and whether they're going in or out, like, he's already a step or two behind,
right?
You know, and that kind of led to some like holding or defensive holding. I think he had 4 penalties last year, which isn't a crazy number, but definitely could have been called a bit more. There are a few guys here on the list where it's like, oh no, you're a flag waiting to happen.
Right.
Yeah, but I made some comments about his press technique, but I honestly think if someone eventually could be a good press corner, it's just right now his technique's kind of trash. Where already a guy in off coverage sometimes ends up being a step or two behind.
Yeah.
In press, he's kind of that way because he'll go to lunge or he'll go to open his hips up and basically just give the wide receiver a free release and be like, please put me in a blender.
He's just
ready for the sauce.
I know he's lucky. He's a very good athlete, but
yeah, he's an explosive athlete. I'm kind of curious how the long speed will look, but
I didn't have too many issues with it. I didn't see too much separation based on athleticism, but
yeah, I think that's fair. A lot of it was crap, but then again, at the same token, I was like, okay, how good is this recovery, like speed?
Right.
But there were also some cases where it was like, fat chance you're recovering from that.
Yeah. I thought his instincts were the worst part of his game. Like you're talking about, just like when you're in off coverage, man, like I think he just needs to be either in press and learn how to press better, or
that's the thing. I don't know what he is.
I know. That's why he's my corner 15. I do still really like his game, but you know, it's pretty much an athlete that is a weird zone. Like he's in a weird spot where
I think last year was his first year as a starter though. So
yeah. I mean, like there's a lot of room to grow for him. So I'm excited to see that. But you know, when I get to see Andrew Phillips right next to him, who graded 10 points higher, like you can, for me, I could tell the difference. So still a good corner. At 15, we're talking about like very minute difference here. My number 10 was Tacario Davis solely because of the fact that he's not a great athlete. And I think that his physicality is not used. It's not placed always properly. So I think there's some room to grow there.
That's fair. I thought there were cases where he didn't take best advantage of his
right.
Limit.
And like, that's the thing. He has all that potential there. So it's an easy spot for him to improve. And it's just that change of direction. He's a little bit stiff. So yeah, it's not bad. Again, it's just comparatively.
I feel like that just comes with the territory with bigger corners.
You're 6'4". I know, like physics actually matters. Splash. The real world applies by it.
It's like talking about like tall offensive linemen and leverage.
Right. That's exactly the case. Yeah. So my number 11 is Jason Marshall. So I know that that's going to be a contentious one as well, but
I get it.
I mean, in
terms of ability, I get it.
Yeah. The mistakes are pretty big, but he's one of the only
big right off the bat in that Utah game.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I ended up watching him versus LSU, and I have yet to really see many corners be able to get toasted by Brian Thomas, but then be able to make sure he doesn't score a touchdown when he does. So I really do think that long speed can be there, the recovery speed. And in man-to-man coverage
in general,
He's a good athlete, man. And I think he's actually a really good man-to-man corner. It's just the whole entire defense wasn't operating at top efficiency, and they haven't been doing that for years. So I don't know if that's going to change.
I got some news for you. I don't.
It's not
with their schedule. I don't know if it's going to.
Yeah, it was so weird. All the receivers I was like looking at statistically, like we're always doing the best versus Florida. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. But I don't think it was because Jason Marshall, great frame, just overall. I didn't really see too much wrong with him. I think he's still green in terms of the processing of the game, but I didn't think that he was actually bad in terms of the pure coverage. Physicality, I think he leverages it a little too much to the point where it's not really properly utilized, but not bad. And then I don't see him as a run supporter. So he's a project, but he's somebody who I have a lot of faith in because of the coverage ability he brings with the athletic profile.
Yeah. Like I put here with him, he was like, he overcommits, man. He's so reactive instead of proactive.
Yep.
That a lot of times, like, because I also put he doesn't play the ball, but a lot of times he's stuck trailing, so he's not going to be given the opportunity to really turn his head and make a play on the ball. He's going to have to take cues from the wide receiver. So it was kind of a rough year, but
for the whole entire Florida D.
Yeah, but traits are there. They are. He's got a ton of starting experience. If it clicks this year, then he could be a mucho big riser.
I would love for him if he ended up transferring to like Oregon. That would have been my dream, man. Like seeing him paired up with Jabbar Muhammad out there.
Dude,
like, I just feel like they would complement each other so well. Like
Oregon, they also brought in Cam Alexander from UTSA.
Yeah, UTSA, good ground for developing DBs.
Yeah, well, hopefully that'll be good for Denver Harris if he doesn't get kicked off the team.
He's already been kicked out of 2, right? Or is it 3 now?
You say only.
Yeah.
He's on his third school in his third season.
Not by choice either.
He hears only and he's like, okay, Alex, hold my beer.
You know what?
I mean, it's wild.
You can't do jack shit in San Antonio. Wait, no, you can. I'm saying UTEP.
Yeah.
UTSA, no, that's dangerous.
I think he wasn't kicked off the teams, but he was suspended by them a ton.
Right. Like, he was essentially forced out.
Yeah. He's been a locker room problem. Like, when I saw that, I was like, do I need to watch this guy? I was like, he started like 3 games. Why not?
I elected not to. Like, literally, I think he's a cancer in the locker room. If you can't stick to a college roster, probably not going to be able to stick to an NFL one.
Right. So, my number 11, we kind of talked about a little bit, like very slightly. It's Dorian Strong, the Virginia Tech teammate of Delane. He's 6 foot, 185, but he feels a hell of a lot more thin, real wiry. Like, my biggest problem with him is just the run defense, the lack of physicality. Like, there's a want to be physical, and then there's a reality of being physical. And he's very much like a dive and drag tackler and hoping and praying that it's enough that you're not going to get carried. I didn't think he took on blocks really well. I have questions about his long speed, but at least in the short to intermediate, he's a very fluid mover.
Sure.
Plays with a lot of discipline in zone, and it has led to ball skills. Like last season, 7 pass breakups, 3 interceptions. And then if you look over the course, like earlier in his career when he was more heavily targeted, because that's kind of been a thing last couple of years, he just wasn't targeted that much.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, 2022, he only played 4 games because of an injury. But if you look earlier in his career where he was targeted a ton, he still produced ball skills wise, 12 pass breakups, 2 interceptions. It's just, I kind of think he's like fine. That's kind of the problem.
Yeah. I mean, I don't disagree with anything you're saying. I mean, he's corner 24 for me, but like in terms of the respective strengths and weaknesses, I see him very similarly to you. My number 12 guy is Quincy Riley, mainly because I wanted to see more applicable athleticism. And I just personally didn't. I thought it was a little bit stiffer than I wanted him to. And like, that's an easy category.
Which I think that's kind of fair. If you bring track speed, that's straight line speed.
Right. Like I'm talking about functional athleticism, like including the acceleration there. And honestly, like that's especially given his background, the easiest to boost. And that's something that could easily vault him. Even if it's literally 2 points overall, he's instantly in contention, tied at number 6. So it is a really tight gap from 6 all the way up to 12. So I'll just quickly jump to 13 then for me, if that's fine.
Yeah.
Since we already talked about those guys. Damani Jackson, cornerback for Alabama, formerly USC.
Didn't get to him.
Oh, so he flies. He is a press man corner to heart. He relies very heavily on physicality, but this dude flies. He's a smooth mover, and he's built solely for man-to-man coverage. He is pretty garbo when it comes to zone, but he's just super green to it. USC really love to, like, they love to put Damani in pretty much just one-on-ones because of the fact that he is smooth, he is physical, and he is fast. So I think that when he's transferring to Alabama, I don't really know if I kind of wish that he transferred to Michigan, because I really would have loved for him to have gone under the wing of another corner that is just extremely cerebral in terms of processing the game. But we'll see. I think that he easily could be the biggest riser out of all the corners comparatively to where he's supposed to be drafted.
Okay. Sick.
Like, I could see him being a top 10 pick if he just takes the step this year. Just because he brings that physical profile, that athletic profile.
Okay, so you were on 14?
13.
13, okay. So my 12 was Jabbar Muhammad, but we talked about him. My 13 was Davidson Igbenogson.
Davidson.
Yeah. Who's your 14?
My 14 is Dalen Everett.
Oh, okay. That works out well. He's 17 for me. I got a couple of guys ahead of him, but I mean,
go on.
Oh yeah,
I talked about Riley and then Damani Jackson.
Okay, I can talk. I'll talk about Everett real quick.
Sure.
Length, pressability, plus. I mean, last year was his first year as a starter, so
he is physical.
I mean, he's physical, man. He is 6'1", 190. I thought he had good eyes in zone. He played pretty darn disciplined, and I just feel like that was something that Georgia corners do. Like last year was pretty good at that as well. And you kind of said physical. He plays with that dog in him, like that 8.1% missed tackle rate. My biggest gripes are just average athlete.
No, that I have that too.
Yeah, average athlete. In man coverage, I don't think that's going to be a go in the NFL. So
he'll need safety cover over the top. I'll just say don't leave him on an island versus Tyreek Hill.
Well, that goes for about 99% of corners.
Yeah, you don't put him on an island with anybody under 4.45.
I mean, you could put Carl Davis on an island with Tyreek. It was a rough game for Bucks fans.
Yeah. And Carlton Davis is good too. Really good.
He is. Anything you want to say about Everett, or is that?
I mean, to be honest, my biggest gripe with him was the fact he doesn't turn his head around at all. Like, he has good positioning and then doesn't actually take advantage of it. He's not a plus athlete, but he's physical. Doesn't play the run well, in my opinion. But yeah, my next guy is Maxwell Harrison as well, so I'm pretty much on 16.
Okay. Here, I'm gonna do my 14, and that'll catch me up. My 14 is Aiden White out of NC State.
Yeah.
Biggest cons with him: play strength, run defense. Dude ain't gonna be taking on blocks. Yeah. Then again, he's apparently put on 12 pounds, so we'll see. I said I didn't think he had very good press ability. Thought he got out physicaled during the route, but he's got legitimate ball skills. 14 pass breakups, 6 interceptions the last 2 years. I thought he was a pretty smooth mover. I thought he was pretty good in zone as well. I thought he was relatively technically sound. Even as a tackler, he properly wraps up. It's just like he doesn't have an anchor to actually pull these guys down consistently. Right. So maybe more of like a catch tackler, but
yeah, nonetheless,
that was my 14. I got Kobe Bryant at 15, Ephesians at 16, and then Everett was my 17, and Marshall's my 18.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, just a note about Aiden White. In the tape that I saw, he was the most top speed limited corner in terms of giving up separation with long speed. But when it comes down to it, he's an extremely fluid mover. He is very smart, and he plays zone coverage well. So hopefully that added weight could like maybe make him even more formidable in terms of the physicality portion. And maybe we'll see some more.
If he figures it out from a physical standpoint in the run game, he's probably moving to the slot.
I have him listed as a slot. Yeah, he actually is the only of the primary corners listed as developmental as slot.
So Jahdae Barron's playing outside corner now?
What?
Yeah.
What the hell? That's
apparently this has been a thing for like a month. I had no idea.
The fuck? Why? He doesn't belong he belongs in a slot. What is this?
I thought
they're getting desperate.
I thought he did his best work like around the line of scrimmage in the box. Part of me is excited.
Yeah.
Part of me is scared.
I'm genuinely terrified.
Because I'm not sold on the long speed from him.
Right. He's explosive in short range.
Yeah, but because like he was listed in their star position, but I've heard multiple people say that he's going to be playing out wide. So like I have no freaking idea.
Fingers crossed, man. But sticking to the former Big 12, I'm going to be my next two guys are teammates. It's Gentry Williams and Woody Washington, kind of almost opposites in my opinion. Which they
I didn't get into Gentry.
He's one.
Is he?
Gentry is on sale version Kobe Bryant.
I was gonna say because like I was looking at his analytics and I was like, do I want to watch this guy?
I see he's not very good in man-to-man coverage.
I could see that.
Like so something I realized is like on in-breaking routes, he took like a full 1 second to respond. And it's like, the hell? Like, why? But he's surprisingly really good at processing in zone. I was like, oh, I did not expect that. So really good athlete as well. You're not going to burn him deep. Smooth athlete. He can process, what the hell's going on around him. And he is willing to be physical. So I do appreciate that about him. But Woody Washington is my next guy who's going to be a little bit less of a jaw-dropping athlete, but he's more physical and he's better at man coverage. So that's fun.
Yeah. Woody is one of the few guys that play corner and are also like a team captain.
Yeah. And he's a good run defender as well. I think he's willing to do what a lot of guys are not willing to do at the corner position.
Yeah. I liked Woody. I hope he has like a really big year. Because I like to, because I think I've had him now multiple times on my like spreadsheet and had to move him year to year.
Yeah.
So I'm really hoping.
Fingers crossed.
I had Fentrell Cypress here at 19.
Okay. That's cool. 23 for me.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's still pretty solid. I think obviously lacks the quicks.
Right.
More long speed's not like great, but it's not bad.
Yeah.
I think he's got really good length. Like he's shown not even just in the past, but even like last year, not just like during his Virginia time, but even last year, like he was still pretty darn good. 9 pass breakups and a completion rate of 45%. So pretty darn solid.
Right.
I think he's probably meant for more of a zone, corner.
Yeah, absolutely.
And not like cover 3, but like maybe like I guess more of like a cover 2, like something with help, just in case someone tries to take him vertically.
Yeah.
But I mean, you could get by with quarters. I think quarters would be fine because you're working with real limited space.
Yeah. No, I mean, I can't disagree with that. I just thought he was a little bit stiff and didn't use his physicality very well, and he's not the biggest guy on planet Earth. So, not bad though. I mean, the fact is he processes well.
Did you check out Ricardo Hallman?
So he is one of my next two. So I'll go. We'll talk about Ricardo Hallman first. He's my number 19 corner. He's really, really good in man coverage. He is not not the best athlete I've ever seen. Doesn't process the game as well as I was hoping for, but it's disproportionately good at man-to-man coverage because he's unbelievably fluid, which was a very big shock to me. Like you're not going to be able to generate separation just by running routes, like, because he will run the route for you, and he's very, very physical. So I think that's a really strong foundation to have, and it's going to be interesting to see how he's deployed because I just don't see. I see him as very role specific, but he could be very good in said role.
Yeah, I think he might be having a future in the slot.
I could see that. Yeah. I mean, smooth, physical, good at man-to-man. I could easily see that.
I like the ball skills. I think he plays a very high risk, high reward type of style. Like he kind of gambles a little bit. Like, because I think he's got some scheme versatility to him. Because I thought he did fine in zone, but there were just times where he bet wrong.
Okay.
But yeah, he's fine. He's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nothing that's special. Like surprising. Yeah.
I mean, we're at that point though on our list.
We usually end off at like the top 15 where we're like all hyped up. The one I'll mention one more name. Will Lee, the third, cornerback from Kansas State, transfer to I believe Texas A&M.
Oh yeah, I don't have him on my list yet, but I was going through the Athletic. Dane Brugler put out his top corners.
Yeah, and
I was looking at a few because if there's a guy I'm not familiar with, I like to add him, and I think that was one of the names that were like in his like top 10, 7-ish area, and I was like, okay, we'll throw him on.
Yeah, I think athletically very limited. Pretty sure on the first play that I watched of him, he got absolutely toasted. So it's like that was a great way to start. But physical, he's actually not like a liability in the run support game. Nothing that's crazy, but I thought he was actually quite balanced given the spot where we have him at. It's just really the athleticism is what dropped him down into this range. So good corner though, 6'3". It's gonna be very excited to see him there for. Pretty sure he's on Tamu because I remember putting a picture of him with a flag on. But 185 range, like sub 190, is a little bit scary.
Yo, tell me when you said Tamu, I was like Timu.
Oh man,
you got a deal to sell me?
I know, dude. Timu. I gotta admit, man, I'd used Timu once, and that app is like so addicting because it makes you think you're actually doing something right, and then it just reminds you that it's all just a big ass scam. I got some stuff from it, but it's like
you gotta know when to
stop,
when to not spin the wheel. Be like, no, I'm going to checkout, please.
Yes. Oh my god. And then feeding the fish, I got all hyped up. I'm like, oh yeah, dude, I got like 3 more fish, and then we'll continue dividing it by 2, and then dividing it by 10, and I'm like, what the hell is this crap? So, it's an absolute scam. But what they sell isn't like a scam. It's just like the entire idea of it is an absolute joke.
Yeah.
Well, and we're the ones who are pranked by said joke. So, more on us than them.
All right. So, anything else you want to talk about in terms of the NFL draft?
I mean, I don't know if I don't think this week would be a good week to talk about the tackles for me. Okay. Because I want some more time to break down some more and have a back and forth with you since I did top last time, but now I got Ariante Uzuri on there and a couple other guys. So
yeah. To be fair, I do want to go back and add, like, there's some people that I'm like, oh, okay, I want to go back and watch some of these guys.
Okay, so I got 2 new tackles in my top 4.
I did notice you added Jalen Rivers from the Hurricanes, and I was like, or at least you were watching him. I don't know where he's at on your board, but I was like, why didn't I watch the Miami Hurricane tackle? Oh, that's right. I'm still holding out hope for freaking Zion Nelson.
Oh my god,
he's still on the squad.
I thought he's right now in the transfer portal.
No, he took his name out, but he's also not listed on like the active roster because he's still trying to come back. Like, dude, his knees are shot. Any chance of an NFL future are gone.
I'll just say Jalen Rivers, athletic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take it.
He's a practice squad type of guy. He's a practice.
No.
Yeah. It's okay. It's okay.
You know what? I need some more. I need more guys in the late day 3 pool anyway.
He'll be late day 3. Yeah.
Perfect.
But yeah, I got 30 dudes.
I only got 20, but like I feel like I dished a lot of tackle. No, that's not true.
I have somebody that you put as a guard as my number 1 tackle. I'll put it that way.
Ooh. Is it someone that I've got into yet?
I don't know. I literally started putting down like, because for my deep dive, I just look at a bunch of sources to make sure I have all the guards and centers. And you ended up putting this guy, and I was like, I started looking at the reps to make sure to see like, oh, did he play the split time at guard and tackle? And no, he was full-time tackle.
Okay. So let me help myself narrow it down. Are they an FBS school?
Yes.
Okay. Well, eliminates one.
Are you talking about who is it? Shit. Forgetting off the top of my head. Who are you about to say?
Charles Grant.
No.
William and Mary. There is a Montana State guy on here. No. I don't know how I'm ever gonna watch that.
Yeah.
But he's here.
Dude, I need to find out how to watch some ECU, man. If it is the Michigan one, then I'm gonna be super hyped.
Yeah, I feel like that's the only way.
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited to watch that because they have some good receivers too that can translate some tape.
All right, so it's a guy that played tackle, but I have him listed.
You have him listed as a guard. And he's FBS, Division 1.
Okay. I feel like it has to be one of the guys I haven't watched yet. I feel like it's not the Mizzou guy, right?
No.
But because I know you already watched him and you liked him.
Yeah, I like him as a guard. I'll say this: if you want to not guess the name, if you want to not guess the name, you could see him on the show next week.
There you go. There you go.
But I think you guessed the name. I don't know if I don't know how to pronounce the name.
Oh, okay. I have no idea how to pronounce it either. I haven't watched him yet.
Double M. Are you talking about double M?
Yeah, double M.
Bow.
Yeah. Bow.
No, dude.
Well, you can't even carry it that long because there's not multiple M's. So
right. You can't be like, bow. No.
Oh, cool. So I'm gonna devote next week, like, just to watch like the general Purdue offensive line because there's a couple of guys. Like, there's a center here. Yeah. Hartwig.
Yeah.
The center who I think he played multiple positions last year. He just played center.
I'm waiting for you to do the background research on Marquez to see if he's like a former fighter, because he has hand-to-hand combat.
Oh, Marcus.
I swear. Like, it is elite hand-to-hand combat. Like, I don't see
to be
guys
fair, my background research is whatever the profile, like the college profile tells me. If I could get something from 24 Sports and general just Googling their name.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I mean, what are we launching, like PI? We're gonna pay a PI to find out information on these guys? No.
Would have helped me with Tamari and Terry.
I was really talking about that today. They're like,
like I just go back to it so much because I literally devoted a video. I was like, I think he might be a top wide receiver in this class. Oh, he killed somebody. Allegedly. I don't even know if he got convicted. Honestly.
Top of the jail yard football team.
Yeah, not only does he go UDFA, but he then gets released by Seattle. I'm like, was he just crap and I didn't know it?
Oh my god, that's funny.
Not for
Anyway,
him.
yeah. So guys, if you guys are watching on Twitter, feel free to go. And you guys haven't followed us over on YouTube, which I assume you have at this point. That's where we post a lot of content. I actually theoretically post more on Twitter, but Twitter's where I kind of speak incoherently. If you want to see me speak a little bit more with like some more brain cells, feel free to go over and watch the YouTube. But that's where YouTube's where we devote the most of our energy. Twitter's where we have a little bit more fun, but also hitting the like does help spread this to the generations beyond. I don't know how to say it without sounding stupid, but I ended up finding a way to still sound stupid. It happens.
Hey, I ain't gonna hate. I'm gonna let Gojo out real quick.
What are we doing next?
Let's do these bold predictions. So you don't want to do any award tie-ins like Rookie of the Year?
We can.
Yeah, I feel like
just think. Yeah, if you want to do it, let's go.
We're just gonna spitball some names.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right. I'm gonna let Gojo out.
I'm gonna look at the comments. Yeah.
You look at the comments.
Yeah, I'll look at some comments.
We've ignored the comments for far too long.
I know. What's good? Suggs to be you. What's up, brother? Which team do you think will go for a cornerback in the first round? Said Brandon Hellum. I think that the Vikings could be one of them. The Commanders could be one of them. Depends on like where Will Johnson goes, because if Will Johnson is at any of the teams in the top 5, I still think there's a chance they roll the dice given the class itself. But theoretically, the Broncos could be in the market. The Colts, I think, should be at least open to the idea. Let's see. Who else? There are other teams. Theoretically, Tennessee, LA especially. They have a couple of dudes who are up for contract. Atlanta still looking for a boundary corner too, because Mike Hughes is up for a contract. I don't know if Clark Phillips is going to be the long-term guy at boundary, because I loved him as a slot and as a boundary, but they need to go after a cornerback regardless. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of teams that can go after a corner in the first. Steelers, they need a corner too, and like it's pretty much corner 2 and receiver 2. But regardless, I think those are the teams to go after a corner in the first. Hello there.
What's up?
I was responding to Brandon's comment, which was asking which teams should go for a corner in the first. And I just named like every single team. So
I mean, it so much that relies on free agency.
Oh yeah, it also depends on where Will Johnson falls. Like if he falls.
I feel like if I'm the Panthers,
take him.
Yeah, they're probably picking top 3, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think minimum top 5, or like maximum. I don't know, whatever verbiage you want to use.
Yeah, I think one way or another, they're coming out of, if they are top 5, they're gonna grab either a corner or an edge. Yeah, it's the perfect class to do that in. So they probably wanted it to be corner. Just I don't know what the contracts of Wonum and Clowney are, but
yeah, I think Wonum was a 2-year deal.
That sounds right. And I could see Clowney being 1 or 2, but
yeah, I think Clowney was a 1. But
I don't know that off the top of my head.
Show Low Man said, "What's the difference between Tarheeb Steele and Cam Hart?" He was surprised that Tarheeb went before Cam. I think we all were kind of surprised at that. A lot of
us had at least Cam Hart in like the 3rd, 4th round range.
Yeah, and I mean he went like 5th, mid-5th. Like
I mean, players fall all the time. It's the NFL draft. People are gonna, especially on day 3, they're gonna just go after who they like. They're not gonna follow the general consensus board just because. Yeah, the rest of the NFL is not. So it's like if they really like a guy, they're gonna go grab him, and they probably saw a role for Tarheeb, which I think I had him as a slot. I can't remember. It feels like the 2024 draft was a lifetime ago.
Yeah. Someone's telling me to change Saab. Oh, from Michigan to I still haven't listened to Michigan. Good catch, man. I love you guys for doing that. Like, just straight up copy and paste doesn't always work. Good catch. I love you guys for doing that. Dude, that's the thing. You guys can be a dick. Don't be a dick about it. It's always helpful when you guys catch simple mistakes like that.
You can be a dick. Just don't be a
dick about it. I'm just saying. Can you guys do a mock draft? You and I both did not have the energy for a mock draft today. I think next time wouldn't be a bad idea, like kicking off the season.
Yeah. I'm probably gearing up to do a mock draft anyway next week.
Yeah. Like probably the week after that. I'm going to the Cowboys preseason game.
Ooh.
Yeah, the one that's going to be in town next week.
Did they just acquired like Jordan Phillips, right?
That sounds familiar. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, with the trade with the Giants,
now
right?
With Atlanta.
Huh? Yeah.
Because did you hear Braylon Trice went down?
Yeah, towards ACL. I mean, I don't want to sound insensitive. The dude looked like absolute garbage in the preseason game before he got hurt. He's still 245, and I'm like, my guy, no one would want to draft you at 245.
I forgot they got Simmons too, dude.
Uh-huh.
Those were all the moves I feel like I criticized them for not doing in the draft.
Well, I think a corner too last year would have been a great idea with a Cam Hart in the 4th round. I'm just saying.
Yeah, right. Well, apparently I thought they liked Clark Phillips, but right now they have Mike Hughes listed as a starter ahead of him.
I mean, Mike is there for a year more, so I'm sure it's just going to be a healthy rotation. But even in the nickel, man.
Yeah, but I always considered Mike Hughes a nickel, like a corner guy. Yeah, and a nickel.
Yeah.
Or did I say a corner guy? A man. Yeah, a man.
Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah, Clark was more of a zone guy, was he not?
Yeah, at his size, hell yeah.
Yeah,
because you don't want him covering. Like he was a guy that you didn't want him having to cross the field to follow somebody.
Yeah,
but he was able to fight everything underneath.
That's why a lot of people tell him the fuck. Experienced an allergic reaction. Oh, that sucks.
Who? Mozzie Smith.
Mozzie Smith has experienced an allergic reaction. So.
How do I feel about Jalen Milroe going to the Seahawks in a mock draft? I mean, if he wants to battle it out with Sam Howell,
I could see it. I mean, for some reason, like one of my dream fits for Jalen would be Seattle. Just it would be similar strengths that
I need to see what that offense looks like. Like,
I mean, fair. It's Waldron, right?
No, Waldron's with the Bears.
I'm tripping.
I
was thinking like Bears too.
The former Washington OC.
Oh shit,
Washington.
Right. Yeah, that's why people started saying that Penix might have went to Seattle.
Nah, he was never going to make it there. Apparently.
Okay, actually, do you want to talk about the rookie quarterback so far? Because now we finally got to see all of them with like legitimate time.
Sure, I could. Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah.
You want to start with JJ?
I mean, I think that he'll just probably never get a snap this year, based on his play on and off the field. No, that just sucks. That sucks.
You know what sucks? I just drafted him in because I'm in a dynasty league and we had to wait to fill a couple of other spots. Yeah. Like just orphan teams. So someone come in and just take over the team. So we've had to push our rookie class back and back and back and back.
Yeah.
And it was actually, I had multiple first round picks. Like I've been using this draft capital to get draft capital like later down the stretch. Like I've already acquired like 2 first round picks for 2026 and another first round pick for next year.
Yeah.
Which I'm going to need because I need running back help. But with my second first round pick, it was pick 6. And I was like, I have Justin Jefferson. I know JJ McCarthy probably doesn't even he may come in at week 8 or 10. And I'm okay with that. And then moments later, he's out for the season. And I was like, okay, cool. I filled my IR spot.
That's the way to think about it, man. That's good.
I didn't expect him to play anyway, and I just drafted Caleb anyway, so it was like it was kind of like I didn't expect JJ to get any significant starting time on my fantasy roster.
Dude, have you been using Underdog lately? I've been using
for preseason.
Oh, well, like partially yes, partially no. Like Drake May had one for the preseason game. It was like lower than 85.5 passing yards. I'm like, yeah, I don't think he's going to be in there long enough to rack up that. And well, he would have if he ended up actually connecting with Baker. So thank God he dropped it. But yeah, they have it every Monday. They have it where they give you a free special, and you get to end up using it. And it's like use it or lose it. So I ended up doing some, and they have it for like the regular season as well. So I got like Devin Singletary week 1 higher than 52 rushing yards versus Minnesota. I'm like, I feel like they're going to run the clock out. So it's interesting. But the one I wanted to talk about was for the college season coming up. They have stuff like this.
They have college?
Yeah, dude. They have like Trevor Etienne, 750 rushing yards. I'm like, I'm hitting higher on that all day. And like Quinn Ewers, 3,000 passing yards. Like these ones feel like pretty straightforward. So I don't know how much longer they're going to do it if they are still doing it, but I would do it ASAP. For those of y'all who don't have accounts, feel free to use the code Hail Mary, or you can use Broshmo. I'm gonna plug mine. Mine's easy to get to because it's in my link tree. It's a top link. It does all the work for you. But
mine's in the description.
Yeah, it sends us money every single time you guys do it. But honestly, I use the app anyways. It's not
only if you're like a new sign up.
Yeah, right. If you're a new sign up, it helps send. But regardless, I mean, I'm using it because I saw that and I'm like, dude, like straight up, one of it is like Tetero McMillan, 1,000 yards or 1,050.5 yards. I'm like, dude, he got 1,400 last year.
Yeah, I was gonna say
with another receiver that was better than any other receiver they have on roster right now. So Elijah Badger, 475. I don't know why the hell they have an Elijah Badger thing, but I'm like, hell yeah,
dude, I'll take that, dude. I legitimately think he's gonna take over the Pearsall role.
Oh, absolutely. And like Raheem Sanders, 700 yards. I put lower because I just don't really think
he's gonna get hurt.
I either think he's gonna get hurt or else he's not gonna run the ball. Like they're gonna be passing a lot. And then Jaden Ott under like higher than 975 yards. He had like 1,300 last year. So I don't know. I feel like there's just pretty translatable stuff. So I got 8 picks in there. Put $150 bet down on it.
I'm gonna look at that tonight. Yeah, as always, bet responsibly and bet within your means.
Yes. Don't spend money you don't have. They also help pay us. They give us some money to play around with. So that's why we also we're both probably not going to be multi-millionaires within the next week. But if we continue playing with Underdog Fantasy, there's always a chance.
I'm hoping to get to at least 6 figures in a year at some point in my life.
Yeah, absolutely. And so yes,
that's why I'm not there. I'm not close either. My wife's closer than I am.
You got dual income though, not the no kids part, but the dual income.
Yes.
But yeah, like that's why I just said I put $150 entry down. It's like, yeah, they also help pay for that part. But all you guys got to do is you guys get to up to $250 in bonus cash at a 50% match rate. So, feel free to. Who are these guys? Check out our receiver videos, man. We were just talking about receivers, quarterbacks, running backs. We all have videos out on them, my friend. But
yeah, no, it's Martel. Is he
trolling?
He's the local troll.
Oh,
he's a good guy.
Oh, well, power to you, Martel. But for those of y'all who actually were wondering, that's why. So I saw that and I was like, I thought you'd be interested because
I'm absolutely. I will check that out after this.
I straight up put $150 bet down because I'm like, dude, I feel confident at minimum of 6, and you get like 6, you get your return on your money, 7 3 times, and then 8 for I think it was like 80 times or something like that return. I don't know.
So like 8 times. You want to talk about these rookie quarterbacks?
Yeah. Let's talk about it. And the reason I thought about it was because I did a bet on Drake May. So I was like, oh, might as well just kill 2 birds with 1 stone, plug it. Again, feel free to check out the link tree.
So who do you think looked the best?
Oh, honestly, before JJ got hurt, I really did like what I was seeing from him. But shoot, the best? I mean, Caleb had his highs. I really did like what Caleb was doing.
Yeah. I mean, to
And
be
he
fair,
drove the.
I was gonna say Caleb probably had, I think, the lowest snap count of the guy. Well, that's not true. Daniels hasn't really seen the field a ton.
Right. I feel like Daniels is really solid. He missed throw, overthrowing a screen pass, or a swing, but like, the next play he put it into like a 2x2 box. I mean, I don't really think we could crown one as the best so far, but I do really like what I've seen pretty much from all of them. Drake still has a funky ass throw motion. I'm glad that he had a pretty deep ball that was dropped, but every single quarterback in the NFL can still hit a deep ball, maybe not that perfectly, but I don't think that we should be caught up in that. I think that the best takeaway from Drake was the fact that he was making actually like middle of the field reads. So
I liked that it looked like he had a connection early with Baker.
Yes, that was a big plus. I did still see some overthrows that were uncomfortable, like that short throw that Butte had to go up in like one hand. Like his throw motion still needs so much work. Like it's clunky as hell. But
yeah, I think you kind of said it there though. They all looked pretty good.
Yeah, that's why you're saying the best. I'm trying to think of the worst, and I can't really think of the worst. I would say Penix had the biggest roller coaster experience.
Yeah, he did, man. He had a
beautiful ball, but that was the second time throwing it too, where he overthrew the first. So
yeah, I mean, Penix we're not going to see for another 2 years, so it doesn't really matter.
Knock on wood, we don't. I mean, hopefully that Kirk either doesn't suck, which the practice footage doesn't look like he's taken a big step back from before. But of course, it's practice footage. But still, it's not like Kirk injured his throwing arm, he injured an Achilles. I honestly am most happy with Joe Milton because he doesn't look like a complete dumbass out there. It's at least positive that he's not a certified, can't even take reps on the field.
Yeah,
that's what I appreciate.
I forgot someone came up with a really good nickname for Joe Milton. I can't remember what it was.
He just needs to learn how not to throw a bullet pass at 3 yards.
Yeah.
But
I thought Michael Pratt was good.
Pratt.
I like him better than Packers.
Yeah, dude.
I like him better than freaking Sean Clifford. That's his competition for backup quarterback.
I forgot to watch the game now. Man, who do they play? I'm trying to remember because I thought I watched all the games and I just stopped.
I don't know. I know the Dolphins. Dolphins were Falcons.
Yeah. Watch that one for Nathan Rourke more than anything. Nathan Rourke and Penix. I love Nathan Rourke. That's my guy. Yeah, he's one of my guys.
Was it like the Bengals, Browns?
It would make sense. It would be an AFC North team because I don't think I watched it.
Yeah, it wasn't. I think it was an orange team.
Okay, so Pratt did well. That's good.
But
good to know.
Yeah, that shows you how much I pay attention to preseason. It was an orange team.
So Pratt did well as well, that's a plus. I'm forgetting how Spencer Rattler did. I know he scored.
I think he got banged up in training camp recently.
Okay.
I'm positive though.
Because I know I saw something talking about Spencer Rattler scoring, which is a plus. But yeah, Jade Daniels had his ups. Same thing with Caleb Williams. Like all these quarterbacks, none of them looked like. I remember hearing when Zach Wilson was entering camp, people were like, "Dude, this guy's just throwing picks to the defense." Like we haven't heard anything like that so far, and that's such a big win.
Yeah. Like I thought Bo Nix has looked really solid. I think he's going to thrive in Sean Payton's system.
Payton, big time.
It might not lead to wins this year, but
at the end of the day, honestly is almost a blessing if you have a good team that just can't win, because that just means you add more and more talent, and then you'll reach those wins with a better team.
Yeah. Malik Neighbors healthy and playing tomorrow? I heard he's healthy. I don't know if he's playing tomorrow. I'll tell you this, man. Malik Neighbors, I'm trying to get my hands on in fantasy football.
He's gonna be a beast.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be so good that the Giants might have the unfortunate decision of keeping Daniel Jones.
Oh, by the way, guys, if you guys are going to be using the fantasy app, it is you scroll and it says CFBS, like CFB season, CFBSZN. Like, there you go, and you can do higher or lower on these, like Jackson Dart, 3,000 passing yards. Like Travis Hunter,
he's gonna crush that. So Lane Kiffin's offense.
I think he only threw like 3,300 last year, though, if I'm not mistaken, off the top of my head. I did a lot of research making sure, but Ollie Gordon, 1,400 yards. Connor Wegman, 2,700. Like, there's stuff like that where it's like, obviously he should beat that, but I start worrying about health.
Yeah, he only played 4 games last year because of health. So.
Right. Dylan Gabriel, 3,500 yards. I think that's the easiest win because Bo Nix had 4,300 yards in that offense last year, and they got arguably better.
Yeah.
Quinn Ewers, literally 3,000 yards. Are you kidding me? Like, seriously, they lost one of their top backs as well.
They lost 2 backs thus far this year.
Yeah, so it's like, dude, that's a no-brainer. Will Howard theoretically can get upwards of 2,700 yards.
I don't know. I didn't like hearing Will Howard officially labeled the starter, and I was like, officially?
Yeah. I was like, he wasn't?
Yeah, what?
Yeah, dude, like straight up Amarian Hampton, 1,000 rushing yards. It's 1,025. It's like,
yeah, like 14, right?
Should crush that. Yeah, well, I mean, to be fair, they're going to
Well, they bring back a lot of players on that offensive line, though.
Yeah. No, I'm saying like quarterback wise, though. Luther Burden, 1,080 yards, higher or lower.
Not a gimme. That's not a gimme.
Exactly. So like, there's ones in here that are good, but there was a lot. Like, should I just read what I did for my 8-leg parlay or whatever the fuck this thing's called?
Do it.
Trevor Etienne higher on 750 yards. Quinn Ewers higher on 3K. Dylan Gabriel higher on 3,400. Tyler Warren higher than 450 yards. That's a gimme. Tetairoa McMillan higher than 1,050. Elijah Badger higher than 475. Raheem Sanders lower than 700, and Jaden Ott higher than 975. Like, I felt confident in a minimum of 6 guaranteed, so I got my money back.
Yo, Stetson Bennett's thrown 4 interceptions in preseason.
He's been pretty ass.
And that was in 1 game?
Did he throw 4 in 1 game? I know he was having some big trouble, but
I remember when freaking people were all big mad that I was like low on Stetson Bennett.
Steady. Dude, I had him as a 2nd round pick.
I
did not. That's an absolute lie, by the way.
I was gonna say.
No, guy's ass.
I did see some people that had him like 3rd round.
Where
was he? 2023, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to remember where I did have Stetson Bennett.
He was quarterback 15, 7th round for me. Dude.
Stetson was 146th overall, so 5th round.
Oh, dude, he probably didn't even make it. No, he probably was in my top 300. Let me see. 291.
There you go.
Hey, what can I say? When you know, you know.
Jaron Hall. My comment on him was decline to comment. Verbatim.
I thought Jaron Hall was all right. I thought he had a little zip in him.
He was an athlete with an arm. Oh, man. Anyways. Marcus Mabau.
So you want to do these bold takes?
These bold takes? Sure. Yeah. I put it in the title. You're going to have to lead off, though, so I can just bounce off of you.
I'll lead off. I can lead off. I can do that.
You just can't wait for you to be like, Alex! And I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah, right. Me. Ugh. Gotta get these pipes warmed up.
Oh.
It's not like we've been streaming for almost 2 hours.
Oh. That's why I was telling you, like, let's save the other stuff maybe for another week. But we can still do it. It just depends on how you're
we'll see how we're feeling. All right, you ready?
Ready.
Alex, I want some bold takes. The football season's upon us. We need some hot takes, and that's what we're doing today. I'm going to come up with 5. You're going to come up with 5. Our bold takes for the 2024 NFL season. I'm going to go ahead, start us off with my bold take, and I'm going to go ahead and say the Texans regress. I think they're going to finish under what they did last year. What did they do? They were a 10-win team, right?
I think they were, yeah. You think they're sub 10-win team? 7.
I think there's going to be a bit of a sophomore slump.
Ooh,
I think it's possible because I was going back and I was looking, Alex. I looked at the defense and I was like, holy moly. They lost quite a bit. They lost Grenard. They lost Cashman, Nelson, Collins, Rankins, Harriman. Well, I mean, it does when you start to look at the guys that they filter in, because we're talking about the corner 2 spot's going to be potentially Kamari Lasser, which I like Lasser, but it's a rookie corner. And then you have Azeez Al-Shaair. He's very familiar with D'Amico Ryans. No problems there. Very good. It's just you get to the interior of this defensive line, and I'm like, how is this team going to create pressure? Like you got Mario Edwards, who's been all right when
been around the block.
Yeah, he's been around the block. He's been on a hiatus here and there, but when in the game, he's been solid, but very much rotation guy. Fadakasi's coming in there to be just this big, massive, space-eating nose tackle for the run game. You got Tim Settle, Khalil Davis, McDelvin Agim, a guy from quite an age ago, used to play in Denver. I don't know what they're going to do to create pressure on that interior. Right. I got questions about the defense, and I don't think the defense is going to necessarily improve. Right. I don't think they're going to it's going to be a massive regression, but I think it's going to be enough to where it's like, okay, maybe they won't be in some of these games. And they're working with a much tougher schedule. I currently have them having the 4th toughest schedule in the NFL. Compare that to this past season where they had the 8th easiest schedule. So my first bold prediction is sophomore slump for D'Amico Ryans and company.
I'll follow that up. We're going to have a slump for the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh,
I think that this is the first time that they're going to be pushed to the bottom edge of the playoffs. I have them right now as my 15th best team in the NFL. Just overall, I think there are respective holes. The great news, though, for the Cowboys is that the future is a lot brighter maybe than the present. Tyler Guyton looks like a stud. I don't know how he's going to exactly hold up to number 1 team edge rushers for the entire season, but the fact is he's shown the propensity to be great. And then Marshawn Kneeland, he's honestly looked phenomenal from the first snap that I saw of him. So you got some great players there, but I do have my relative concerns, especially with all those contract situations going on. There's just a lot of drama and a lot of unknowns, and there's always drama with the Cowboys, but I feel like there's been a lot more knowns than unknowns than present. So I do think that they're going to have a little bit more trouble than maybe what they have in the past.
I feel like that's a fair one because they have a lot of contracts coming due.
Yes, it's mainly the money situation.
Yeah, and I mean, Mike McCarthy's in his final year. Mike Zimmer only signed a 1-year deal. And then you got to pay CD, which Jerry Jones, what you doing? LOL. Come on. What are you doing, bro?
Yeah, that comment was honestly the thing that really set me off. I was like, all right, let's talk about it.
As a guy that's getting ready for a couple of fantasy drafts in the next couple of weeks.
Fanny drafts.
fanny drafts. Yeah, you gotta draft using your fanny.
Yeah.
But yeah, it made me a bit queasy, dude. It made me a bit queasy.
Right.
All right. So my next bold take is you're gonna like this one. I think you're gonna like this one.
Okay.
My next bold take is TJ Watt will win Defensive Player of the Year.
All right. Stole the one that I was going with next.
No way.
Yeah, I really wanted to go for a Pittsburgh homer one because I was going to possibly go after them with another.
Oh man. Oh, I could go with another Pittsburgh
No,
one.
you know what? I'll go counter it. I think that's a great one. I think that he, when fully healthy, will just absolutely dominate. And I think since Pittsburgh will have, like, this is commenting on yours, not mine. Since Pittsburgh will have a really solid rushing focus with quarterbacks that have at least a higher ceiling, I think that the defenses will be in a passing mode more, or the defense will be facing a passing attack more often, trying to get back to even. So I think my number 2 bold take is that if the Pittsburgh Steelers do not get Brandon Ayuk, they miss the playoffs. I do have massive concerns over the lack of reliable number 2 receiving talent. Good thing is we have a good running attack. But the bad news is also with Troy Fautanu pretty much missing the entire preseason with a little tweakage to his knee because he doesn't wear freaking knee braces. I'm hoping that the offensive line remains more healthy than maybe it could seem. So I do have my concerns, but Pittsburgh has a kick-ass defense, but we always have had a kick-ass defense for the most part. It's the offense that still kind of needs that final piece.
So my question, turning this back to you, is does that mean if they miss playoffs, are they a winning or are they a losing team?
I haven't actually gone out and looked at the pure like wins versus losses comparison for both, but I think Mike Tomlin will sell his left nut not to go under 500. So I'll just say winning.
Okay. I mean, I agree with you. I have a hard time believing that it's going to ever happen at this point.
I know. It sucks.
All right. So I'm going to go back to another player one.
Okay.
I'm going to go with who's going to lead the league in rushing yards.
Ooh.
Yes. Whose name's not CMC. There's a little caveat there. So potentially might lead the league, might be second because, CMC is a thing.
Right.
I'm going with James Cook. This team now is very unproven at the wide receiver position you got Khalil Shakir, who started to show out last year, but no more Stephon Diggs. Gabriel Davis is gone. They just drafted Keon Coleman. They brought in guys like Matt Collins and Curtis Samuel. So I still think there's obviously going to be a passing attack there. But especially when they made the switch to Joe Brady, this team started to lean a lot more on James Cook. So I think the touches are going to be there. The not that they weren't last year, because I mean he still was what? I think he was like 4th in the league,
right?
4th, 5th in the league in rushing yards. But I think he will lead the league if caveat CMC. Just put that out there.
I respect that.
And I'm saying this as a Dolphins fan.
Yeah, that's pretty tough to say. I'm sorry, dude.
Yeah, I mean, hey, dude. Hard truths.
You know what? Man, I was gonna like do something a little bit unhinged. I'm gonna back off of it. I was gonna go crazy, but there's not enough. There's not enough evidence to substantiate that. You know what? I mean, I really wanted to go after Garrett Wilson with this one. I was gonna say that he's gonna be top 10 in MVP voting. I think he's gonna be Aaron Rodgers' most reliable target. So,
or Tyrod Taylor.
Tyrod was like number 1 in like big time throw percentage last year. I wouldn't be surprised if that could happen.
Dude, he was the best quarterback on the Giants last year.
Yeah.
Don't even give me, Daniel Jones was hurt. When Daniel Jones was healthy, and you could even throw out that Cowboys game. I think that limits it to like 2 games at that point for Daniel Jones, but still.
Yeah.
What was your bold take?
My bold take was that Garrett Wilson's going to be top 10 in MVP voting.
Do you want to expand on that?
I think that he's going to be Aaron Rodgers or Tyrod Taylor's most reliable target, and especially with the connection I've seen from Aaron Rodgers and him, he's going to be a focal point of the offense. He's also going to be known as probably the guy who's most improved, because that offense was atrocious last year. So he's going to be in the spotlight, and when the offense improves its efficiency, I think the focus is going to be taken even more off of him, which is going to allow him to get even more open. And he's just going to be someone that pops out of nowhere and looks like the focal point of the offense. And to me, that's somebody who deserves at least 1 or 2 MVP votes swung his way.
That's a fair one. That's a good one. Now, this one I don't think it's controversial. I really don't. I'm gonna go with another Russian one, but this is more like a team-oriented one. The Arizona Cardinals last season, especially when Kyler Murray returned, they were a very good Russian team. Even without Kyler Murray, they were a very good Russian team. They ended up finishing the season 4th in total Russian yards. I think they finish outside the top 12. I am not a buyer in this offense. Like, they added Jonah Williams. He's going to be playing right tackle for him. Paris Johnson now kicks out to left after playing right tackle his rookie year. And I mean, hey, the guy played left tackles in college, so it's not like it's going to be a big jump, but there could be a sophomore slump there. You get to that interior. I don't really believe in the interior. I thought this team was very coached up. I thought Petzing, the OC, did a very good job with the offense. And I think we're going to start to see more so probably the interior. We're going to see a little bit of that not good from the interior. Like I feel like Hernandez is fine. I feel like who's going to be starting at left guard currently? I see Wilkerson, who's an okay like backup, I think, in the NFL. I don't think he's like a surefire starter. I'm just going to go to Arlaz to make sure that that's currently the listed. Even worse, they got Evan Brown. Basically at that point, he's a journeyman backup in my opinion. But like outside of Froho was actually pretty solid last year. Like, dude, freaking low key, I really liked him coming out of, I think it was Arkansas. Can't remember.
Hajalti, I think, was a Fresno State offensive line.
Was it Fresno? It was something red. I could click on his name and find out real quick.
I know it's Fresno.
Arkansas.
Really? Who's the kid from Fresno that I'm thinking of then?
It's
Netain Moody.
Yeah, it's Moody.
Yep. Yeah. I get those guys mixed up. There you go.
I liked Moody, man. Injuries really screwed him over.
I know.
Not like he was going to be like a superstar, but at least given like legitimate chance.
Yeah.
But I think maybe we start to see the James Conner start to slow down potentially. Yeah. From what I've seen, Trey Benson, he's just not there yet. They currently got
really.
From what I've heard in training camp, that he's out there. He's still competing. Listen, I was one of the highest guys on Trey Benson. I love Trey Benson. I still think he's the future. But right now I'm hearing like DeMarcado is like competing for that run back 2 spot. I don't want to hear that. And I get it. Kyler Murray gives them some of that Russian upside, but I think they finish outside the top 10. I'm willing to push that to 12, but I'm going to just sit at it with the top 10.
My next hot take or bold prediction is that Jameis Winston will be starting games at the end of the year for Cleveland, not Deshaun Watson.
That's wild.
Deshaun will get
That's
benched.
Actually a pretty wild one. Oh, bench? That's even.
Yeah,
no, I think he's getting paid too much money to be benched, man.
Listen, man, I think that Jameis brings a lot more upside to the table, and that I don't trust Watson to get the rust fully off. I'm someone who roots for the talent. Obviously, there's other considerations, but But like talent wise, I want Watson to succeed. I just, for some reason, I just don't see the rust fully off yet. And Jameis is somebody who is an excellent locker room guy, but brings a lot of energy and upside to the table that I haven't seen from Deshaun since returning. And if they want to win a Super Bowl, you got to give yourself the best chance, not what makes the most financial sense.
All right. So I'm right now sitting here trying to think, what hot takes do I truly have to give? Like, I don't want to go out on a limb for like Jacksonville. They burnt me and you both last season.
Oh yeah.
I mean, to be fair, they looked really good to start the year.
They did.
And this one might be a little bit more boring, but I'm going to go with it. I think we're going to see the return of the Cincinnati Bengals in the AFC Championship.
Okay. You think so?
I might be willing to push that to like Super Bowl, but I'm gonna go with AFC Championship game. Healthy Joe Burrow's back. Jamar Chase wants money. T. Higgins wants money. I've heard great things about Marius Mims. There we go.
Doesn't he have a pectoral strain?
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, people started labeling him like injury prone. It was like last year was an ankle. This guy never had injury concerns through his career. I'm not worried about it. But they got Trent Brown. And honestly, Trent Brown's he's kind of like a lower tier Terran Armstead, where it's like he's pretty solid when he's in there, but you can't trust him to play like a full season slate. So like even if Mims misses time, I'm not that worried. I'm just not. I think the offense is going to return to being not necessarily a juggernaut, but like a top 10, top 12. I think the defense bounces back. The defense was terrible last year, utterly terrible. But go look. I feel like they're starting to figure out. They're starting to figure out where guys fit the best defensively on this squad. They took a big hit with DJ Reader, but I think they did an adequate job of replacing that type of girth along the interior. They brought in Sheldon Rankins. They they drafted McKinley Jackson.
But yeah.
Huh? Rankins is fine.
He's coming off his worst year of his career. I'm a little bit worried that he's on this downhill stretch.
If he's in the rotation, I'm okay with that.
Right.
And that's going to be the thing. I trust Coach Lou with this squad. Like, I think the pass rush, we might see an uptick with Miles Murphy.
Yeah.
When it comes to the secondary, I think you got corners that are ascendant in Cam Taylor-Britt, DJ Turner. I don't know what the hell Dax Hill's going to be doing next year, but he's on the roster.
Yeah.
And I really hope – I don't get it. I really hope that Jordan Battle's the starter there in the box rather than Von Bell. I get it. They're familiar with Von Bell. He played there for a year or so. He played well, but still Jordan Battle, he's younger. He played better. He played really good last season. I hope he ends up being the star. They add Geno Stone, who was just a freaking interception machine. Yeah. I think we're going to see a bounce back of the Bengals. Bengals bounce back.
Okay.
Baby.
This is going to be a very bold take, but if I am Harbaugh, I am resting Justin Herbert for as long as it takes for Herbert actually to be over plantar fasciitis. I am not going to have him continue to play on it. I'm willing to have a top 3 pick again and have a god-awful first year as a head coach in order to make sure my quarterback is actually healthy, because everybody I know who's had plantar fasciitis says that it's legitimately living hell. And honestly, it gives yourself time to evaluate everything else on your roster while also getting your quarterback healthy. And then you also get a pick that's really good. So I'd prefer for that at the moment than to let him kind of play during the year.
All right.
I don't think they're going to do anything in the first place. So why risk your quarterback getting hurt for longer term?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So that's 5 takes apiece.
Damn.
Do you want to go? I think so. I mean, do you want to go ahead and
didn't we always do 6 and 6 though?
For drafts, you want to do 6?
We're doing a draft.
We're doing a draft.
We're doing a draft.
Screw it. And I was gonna say we can move to
I have my last one.
MVP, and we could do awards real quick. But
I have my last one already. Do you have?
Hey, if you got your last one, how about you start with your last one while I discover my last one?
The Rams will push it to the NFC. Well, we'll try to make a push for the NFC Championship, and they will end up losing, but they will end up pretty much going toe-to-toe with the creme de la creme of the NFC, and this will be the year that McVay calls it quits. Because I see him, when I saw the Rams preseason, I started hearing McVay randomly start trying to act as an announcer or a color commentator on a lot of plays, and it's almost like I'm sensing that he's preparing for the booth rather than the coaching spot. So I think it's time. And I think Matt is going to retire.
Okay. I got a hot one. I think I kind of foreshadowed it a little bit earlier in our stream.
Mm-hmm.
This is a hot take. And you know what? I don't buy into it myself. It's more so I buy into half of it.
Okay.
And it'll make sense in a second. I think Daniel Jones is going to stick around for another year. Because Malik Neighbors is that freaking good. He's going to save Daniel Jones's job. They weren't willing, it was a terrible idea, a terrible contract. I think.
Yeah.
Well, we could get off him in 2 years. And miss out on this quarterback class? Well, that sucks. And now you bring in Malik Neighbors. Dude, typically, at least statistically, receivers drafted in the top 10, they usually hit big.
Yeah.
Big-ish. You'll have every now and then, it's like, oh, yeah, Corey Davis. Okay. Not so much.
Hey, Corey had a flash there for a minute, though.
Yeah. But I think it was in a contract year, too, actually, for the Jets.
Yeah.
But
I get that money.
Yeah, but I think Malik is legitimately going to eat this year if healthy. So much to the point where it's like we're going to see a bit of a resurgence, maybe a reminiscence of that 2022 season where they made the playoffs. Ooh. And they're going to be now stuck in a position where they're not
Purgatory.
Where it's like we're not in position to get a quarterback, though this quarterback class might lend itself to being better to take a quarterback later. But then again, how well did that work for Pittsburgh and Kenny Pickett? Needless to say, I think it's just going to put him in a tough position where it's like we might have to stick with Daniel Jones for another year.
Yeah. I can see that.
I know. That's
easily. I can see that easily.
I don't love that take.
It's very realistic, though. It's hot, but it's realistic.
I love half of that take.
I think the staying part and the Neighbors part are factual. I just don't know if they actually will make a strong push. I just don't think that they'll evaluate any quarterbacks at the top of the draft and think it's worth it. And then they'll try to address it later on.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's going to be fascinating. Depending on where they land, because, if they're in that, 11 to 20 range, then it's okay. Then Carson Beck, Shadur, maybe Milroe elevates himself. Maybe there's going to be some guys in that area.
Daniels.
Yeah, exactly. It happens every year. Joe Burrow was a guy.
Right.
Came out of nowhere. Kenny Pickett was technically that guy, kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
I mean, I think a lot of us had him in third, fourth round entering the year. Ends up having a big year, but who knows? So do you want to do MVP?
Let's rock it.
Let's send it, dude. Let's do
it. No balls.
Do you feel good starting, or would you like me to start?
You're the one who's more prepared for this than I am, so you go.
Yes. Well, I'll tell you how much I'm prepared for this. It's all on the fly. We're doing it live. I'm going to go Brock Purdy.
For MVP?
For MVP. He was basically in the run-in down the stretch with Lamar Jackson, and I feel like that might even be a hotter take if I said Lamar gets his third MVP than any of my other takes. So I was like, You know what? Let's do Brock Purdy. He's starting now. We're getting to that point where they're gonna have to decide what they're gonna pay him because they're keeping him. Right. So I imagine he's gonna put out a pretty darn good year. Even without Brandon Ayuk, if he does get moved, but I say rumors, it's all rumors at this point. We don't know if he's getting moved. Apparently the Niners, they have a deal if he's willing to sign it. So who knows? But they've kind of prepared with guys like Cowan and Pearsall for his departure. But still, there's more than enough weapons on that squad for him to thrive and survive. So go with Purdy.
I could totally see that coming to fruition. I'm going to kind of counter your first hot take. I'm going to say CJ Stroud might be the MVP. Fully loaded receiving core. Honestly, the running back core is not as good.
I will say, I had no qualm with the offense for Houston.
Yeah, that offense looks great. They have really solid depth at the majority of their line positions as well, in my opinion. I think they could definitely upgrade at center, but, whatever. It got to the point where they released Ladarius Henderson for potential injury concerns, but also to make room for other players. So they had enough confidence in their offensive line depth and development that they didn't really need to go after somebody like that. So power to them for pretty much being very self-aware of that, but elite receiving core. And, they added Cade Stover to now a really solid tight end room. So I really do love it. It's, Ohio State, it's my team right there. Technically Penn State people will say is my adopted team, but the Ohio State will always be my team.
You're just a fan of the Big Ten.
I am a fan of the Big Ten.
Okay. Let's go with the offensive player of the year. So let's go non-quarterback.
Right.
I feel like the easy answer's CMC. Right. Yeah. So I think I might throw a curveball.
Okay.
And not go CMC. Part of me wants to kind of go double down on James Cook. I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm actually going to go with Breece Hall.
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean, now that they got some blockers for him, the rushing yards are going to look a lot better. But the receiving yards were already good.
Yeah.
Like this man, he was a guy that could create something from nothing. And now they get him some legitimate blockers. Like legitimately, they retooled essentially the whole offensive line, bringing in Tyron Smith. They got Morgan Moses. They also draft Olu Fashanu on that interior. You're going to get Tippmann in his second year. So you're expecting him to take a little bit of a jump. You get a healthy Elijah Vera Tucker. Vera Tucker only played part of the season last year. And then they also bring in John Simpson. So it's like, this team feels like it's going to want to run the football for Aaron Rodgers. I mean, for goodness sake, you're bringing in 2 Raven players. So I'm going to go with Breece Hall.
Okay. Looking at the options, I am actually going to go Jamar Chase. I don't know what the situation is going to be with T. He could be even traded at the deadline, theoretically. So, you could definitely keep that card open. But I think especially if they're going to make a push this year, Jamar Chase is going to be the guy that they go through. They have Zach Moss, right? They have Zach Moss and Chase Brown as their starting duo. Those 2 guys are one-cut home run hitters, and that's not somebody who I think they're not going to be getting 20 touches a game, most likely. So I do believe that, it's going to be more of a focus on the passing attack, and there is a focal point of the passing attack, and that is Jamar Chase.
Nice.
I almost got an LSU jersey of Jamar when I went and visited LSU.
Really?
Yeah, they actually have them there. Dude, they didn't have the purple one. I wanted the purple one.
You got to go the purple one.
Yeah, they had the white one. And I was like, oh, give me the purple. But
nobody likes away jerseys, so.
My buddy was like, I prefer it. And I'm like, no. I was like, get the hell out of here.
You prefer coffee stains. That's what I'm hearing.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
All right. I kind of already alluded for defensive player of the year. I have TJ Watt.
Yeah.
I think he's fine. He's always in contention year in, year out. Last year was Myles Garrett, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so like those two go back and forth so much. And I mean, edge it's such a hotly contested position with like Nick Bosa, Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
You got Aiden Hutchinson trending that way, Max Crosby. But like Watt, he does a little bit of everything just because what he can do also in coverage. And he's just such a difference maker as a playmaker, whether it's forcing a fumble, picking it up, or even an interception. I think that kind of helps him edge out the others among that.
Yeah, I mean, the easiest one would be Miles. But I mean, like, for the sake of a video, let's have like a little bit more fun here. I am actually going to opt for Aiden Hutchinson. I think he takes another step this year. Yeah, I mean, I think that Detroit has such a balanced offensive attack that they're rarely going to be behind. So I trust that. I'm just thinking, like, logically, what offenses or what opponents are going to have to pass the most. Like, what offenses are not going to like let down their defense, and Detroit is one of them that's super duper reliable. So I trust that Aiden will be basically going against true pass situations far more often than other guys I might want to put on here.
Yeah. All right, let's move to the rookies. And let's go offensive rookie of the year.
Yeah.
I'm going Caleb Williams. We kind of talked earlier that all the rookies quarterbacks have looked pretty good in preseason. Yeah. I thought Caleb probably looked the best. Slightly, again, it's kind of, it's close, but I think Caleb is just that big of a difference maker. Drake May might not start the year. He's going to be on a bad Patriots team. Mm-hmm. We're not going to see Michael Penix. Bo Nix is going to be also kind of in a similar boat when it comes to his squad. Who are the others? JJ McCarthy, we ain't got to worry about. Jaden Daniels could give him a run for his money, but I mean, I think Caleb, the talent is just phenomenal. I think he's going to flourish with the literal numerous amount of weapons that he has there at his disposal.
Yeah.
So I feel like he's kind of the easy one.
Yeah, he'd be my choice, but I'll just throw the curveball. I'm going to go Malik Neighbors. I think
I love it.
Yeah. I mean, he's the option. So, and he's super dynamite. As long as he stays healthy, knock on wood, man. Injuries suck unbelievably. Like, so praying that he stays healthy, and all these rookies stay healthy as well. But yeah, I mean, should we do one that's like quarterback and then one that's not quarterback just for funsies?
Oh, for rookies?
Yeah.
I'm down.
Okay. Well, the quarterback for me would be Jaden at that point, because I think he has a really solid receiving core and has that rushing ability.
Yeah, you took freaking Malik Neighbors. That's a good one. Obviously there's not a running back that's going to do that because, I mean, Brooks is going to miss time. There's no other legitimate starter at the running back position unless like Kyrie Williams gets hurt. I think Blake Corum's in great position. By the way, I was able to nag him in that rookie draft on my Dynasty League.
Good. I did.
So I have my handcuff for Kyron.
Yep.
Thank goodness. Thank God. Marvin Harrison is just the easy choice. He's gonna get the volume.
Yeah.
There's really nowhere else you can really go, or at least you should. I mean, again, like who's gonna be taking receptions out of his mouth? I don't know. That's the way I should have put it, but you get what I mean. Trey McBride, sure, but like Michael Wilson, maybe. Like, now, like this offense is probably going to run through Marvin Harrison. There's a reason why he is in fantasy a first round pick right now. So, yeah. And I'll tell you this right now: I'm looking to get that Marv Kyler stack in fantasy. I'm hoping and I'm praying.
If he can stay healthy and if Herbert actually comes back, I could see Ladd McConkey being able to take a massive share. But that's so minimal in potential. But
I could see him eating a lot of just volume there in the slot. If it's anything like it was with Keenan Allen, he's going to get ample opportunity.
I honestly didn't see when I was watching the Chargers, I didn't actually pay attention to the offensive line. How did Joe Alt do?
I don't recall.
because I mean I remember watching Guyton and then Latham. Both of them.
I don't think I watched Charger preseason game yet.
Yeah. You guys can feel free to leave that, but like if we were doing an OPOY of guys who would never get selected, i.e., offensive linemen, I would actually go Tyler Guyton. He popped off. Latham looks great too, which was a big surprise seeing him transition so well. Knock on wood, that's what continues. I think Faucheux looked like he had the most room for development.
Yeah, Mims had a lot of like standout, like clips from training camp on X.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
Okay. So defensive rookie of the year, I'm going with Byron Murphy. I was thinking going edge, and then I was like, you know what? I think Murphy's going to eat similar to what we saw from like Kobe
Turner.
Thank you. I was about to say Kobe White, and I was like, that's not right.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Byron Murphy, because he was already eating in the preseason game. He had, I think he had 1 sack, and then he had one that was a close sack, but got away from him. But yeah, dude, I think you're gonna see that motor. You're gonna see, especially with freaking Mike McDonald there as the head coach.
Yeah,
that's a team that's gonna rely on guys being able to win one-on-ones. You're not gonna be getting a lot of pressure, so that's gonna save a lot of production for the defensive line. And like I mean, Boye Mafe kind of had a breakout year last year. They get a healthy Nwosu. They have a couple of other they have a couple of other guys that we're still kind of waiting and seeing, but I think Murphy's probably gonna reap the benefits on that interior, and he's gonna have a very impressive number by the end of the year.
I'm excited when it comes
to pressures and sacks.
I'll just give one and give my honorable mention. One would be Jared Verse. I'm just thinking of teams that would have a lead and basically guys who could end up getting pressures and sacks based on pretty much guaranteed passing down situations. Makes sense that the Rams
would have been my honorable mention.
Yeah. So my honorable mention to your honorable mention is Marshawn Nealand, because I think that there's going to be a lot of focus on Parsons and Lawrence. And he, especially after Sam Williams tore his ACL, is pretty much in line to be the guaranteed starter. So he can definitely clear up some reps. He looked really explosive in his preseason. So shout out to the boys.
I love that. I love Marshawn Nealand.
Yeah.
All right. So you want to do a comeback player of the year? You want to talk about a comeback player of the year?
Sure. You go first on this one, though.
Okay. I think the easy one's probably Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like the guy to go for.
Yeah, I mean, hey, he played
with one other.
Yeah, I mean, at least Kirk Cousins played like half a season.
True.
But yeah, I mean, dude, honestly, if he goes out there and he just plays the full season, he might just win that period.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, played all of 5 snaps. He's got the talent around him. The offensive lines should be better. The Breece Hall's amazing. They brought in Mike Williams to help out. They drafted Malachi Corley. Tyler Conklin's a very solid tight end. Might not be like this like crazy top tight end, but he's a solid one, solid receiving option. So Aaron Rodgers is kind of the obvious choice.
Yeah. I mean, the other choice then would be Kirk, just because.
Yeah. Who's also in a very good situation.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, yeah. Like, I was seeing which one you would talk about, so I could just, like, reverse and just go after that. But
arguably, I would say probably Kirk is in the better situation.
I agree. A more solidified offensive line, elite running back, great weapons. Yeah, he's in a good spot.
Yeah, I mean, Bijan and Breece, though. I mean, those are probably like after CMC. Yeah, those are like the top running backs in the league.
Dude, I love Breece.
You wanna? I got an honorable. I had an honorable mention, and I just lost it in my head. I had it, and now it's gone.
For comeback player of the year.
For comeback player of the year.
I don't give a shit. Well, I mean,
no, I remember it now.
Talking about Did Diggs get hurt last year? I'm tripping. I for some reason it's late at night.
Trayvon, he got hurt last year. He was hurt in week 2 against the Jets.
So yeah, Trayvon Diggs would be my honorable.
I was gonna say this it's 2 players, but it's 1 position, and it's the Steelers quarterback position. Fields or Russell Wilson, comeback player of the year.
Dude, I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm just confident in either of them, and I want to be confident in both of them. I need to see Russ this week.
I think there's a nice reliability and consistency, even if the floor is really, well, the ceiling's really low and the floor is just like moderate at best with Russell Wilson. It's just the ceiling's so much higher, but also there's a lot of high risk, high reward when it comes to Justin Fields. I mean, shoot, he had the fumble in preseason, so it's like
2, right? I think it was 2.
I can't remember. I only remember the 1, but could have been 2.
Regardless,
I think both are good options for potential comeback player of the year.
Yeah, for sure.
But hey, I think we did it. I think those were solid names for potential award winners. Those were good takes. Well, maybe not good takes, but they were solid takes. I don't think they were like terribly hot. I mean, there were a few, but
yeah, I mean, we ended up like ditching the easier answers as well, apart from comeback player of the year.
I mean,
like that one's like, who gives a crap? It's like a participation trophy.
What old quarterback will play longer? I don't know. Maybe Joe Flacco comes back and does it again.
Dude, Joe looked actually really solid in the preseason game, man. I was I'm so happy for him.
I think he's just going out there like it's a turkey bowl.
Right? Like he's just slinging it. He's just vibing. Like
that's how I play once a year, every year. I don't throw.
Tear your hamstring.
Okay, no, I did that in a jumping castle. That's a story for a different time. Yeah. That was the best New Year's Eve of my life.
Dude, straight up, we gotta do the combine. We gotta do the YouTuber combine and football game.
Dude, I'm down, dude. I am feeling great now. Like I've been working out more and I'm feeling more explosive. I'm moving well.
Good.
I'm down to my lowest weight since the pandemic.
Oh wow, that's great.
Yeah, I want to get back down to 165. That's when I was at my most buff.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna get there, but I just want to get to that weight. I'm not gonna get to to my most.
I'm actually gonna weigh myself in a second, but because I'm just like I don't even know. I haven't weighed myself in like 2 months. But Signaler talked about Dallas Turner should have been mentioned. It's just like how many times
in the rotation?
Well, not only that, but how many times are teams going to be in passing situations? You know, like they're going to be probably trying to run the clock out on Minnesota because they're going to be up.
Yeah, there's going to be ample opportunity just because of Brian Flores. If it's anything like what we saw last year.
Sure, but comparatively to others, like you're saying, he's not going to have the most opportunities. But
yeah, also that team, like they're going to struggle at corner, unfortunately. Like it sucks. Obviously, you had the tragedy with Kyrie Jackson, and then you had Mekhi Blackman. I think it was the ACL. Regardless, he's out for the season. Like. Those are 2 big hits. I mean, so much so they already gave up on Booth and they traded for Noah Ibignagani, and he's now on his 3rd team in 3 years. That's great. That's a great feel. But like you gotta imagine teams are gonna take advantage of that aggressiveness, and they're gonna utilize and capitalize on the quick passing game. They just are.
I'm a fat ass. I'm 171.
I'm 175. Dude, during the pandemic, I was at 190. Ugh. Most unhealthiest I've been. I stopped working out and I was working from home. Like it was when I was still doing this part-time and I was still doing my other job.
No, dude, during COVID, I was down like mid 2019 to mid 20 or like late 2020 was my lowest weight. I was like 125 to 135.
Dude, I think it was probably like 6 years ago. So like 2018.
Yeah.
I was at 165. I was benching the most of my life. All my lifts were the heaviest of my life.
Oh yeah,
that's good. Dude, it was disgusting. I think I was doing reps of 8 on 175 or 275. I said 175, 275.
Got it.
Which now I could only dream of hitting 2 plates ever again. Like that was always my goal, just to get a part of that 2 plate life. And then I just kept, I went further. I was like, this isn't even my final form. Squats, I've always been able to push pretty good weight in, which I hate. My legs don't look like it. I'd rather had legs that look like they could squat and then just not be able to do anything. Because I hate.
That's pretty much what I do.
Yeah. I go out there with these stupid chicken looking legs and I push like 3.5 plates, 4 plates. Right. And it's like, oh, wow, I didn't know you could do that. He was like, I wish I didn't have to do that.
Right.
About that. I wish I didn't have to do that. I was deadlifting the most of my life and hated my life for it. Like, I think during a time, like deadlift became my least favorite workout. Okay. Like, I used to love it. And then I started going up on weight and then I really started to hate it because I just couldn't commit to it. Like if ever like I'd feel bad form, I'm like, nope, got to go down. Can't do it.
Right. Right.
And I was only doing
it's not something you should or can really push through shit form.
Yeah. And I was only doing reps of 4 to 6 because I was going for like explosiveness.
Right.
And then, of course.
Dude, there's this guy on Instagram called Ben Yanes. Like that dude, he sometimes is a little bit of an extremist with using machines for alternate purposes. But like he's like perfect because he uses like a skeleton model in order to show how certain exercises actually pull particular muscle groups. And it's like there's some really good nuggets of knowledge from his game or from his content. It's like I hit this like rear delt thing last night where it's like the cable and it's like all the way up here and you face away from it. So like your shoulder is completely stretched. And it's like, oh my God, I haven't felt my rear delt like that in like years. So yeah, man.
Yeah.
Look at us.
Well, I mean, I only do lightweight now. I just do a lot of reps.
So. Yeah, I always do like 8 to 12. That's my rep range.
Yeah, dude, I'm pushing. I do like 15 to 20 just because like I'm doing really lightweight because I'm doing it from home, so it's like just with what I have.
Gotcha.
So like,
yeah,
I have to do that much just to get the workout, get a burn going.
That's true.
And like, I'm just looking to be functionally athletic at this point. I could care less about.
Right.
I've passed that stage in my life.
Right.
Unfortunately, it was honestly some of my favorite years was just like being mad on pre-workout and they handed me the smelling salts. Actually, I've never had smelling salts, but I really wanted to.
I wanted to try it.
I've always wanted to. Like, I was just like, dang, dude, how did I miss the boat on smelling salts? Because like for me, like back in the day, pre-workout, I was like, dude, if this pre-workout doesn't make me feel like, if my heart doesn't feel like it's about to explode unless it lifts something, it's not good pre-workout. I used to do like Jekyll and Hyde.
Oh, no.
I think, dude, that was my favorite. And then it used to be Jacked 3D, I think. And then it got taken off the shelves because I guess in the UK, it had like an antidepressant or something in it that was like basically it didn't pass their what it had in it, so they had to take it off the shelves and put out a new formula.
Yeah,
that's neat.
Yeah, it's a pure.
And then after that, it was just trash. So I was just like jumping from like pre-workout to pre-workout, finding like I was honestly one step away from like just give me cocaine.
Oh my God, that's
are you addicted? Only when I left.
No,
you see me clapping? That ain't chalk. That ain't chalk coming up.
That'd be one. I mean, hell, that'd be one hell of a rush. I'll tell you that.
I know, but
I don't have any experience with that. I mean, we'd know because my job would have found it when they did a freaking hair drug test sample. But
I was always scared, even when I was like, I'll put anything in my body type of phase. Almost anything. But I even was like, you know what? I was one of those guys. I was like, I don't think I'm going to do anything higher than weed.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen my friends on this. I don't want that. I don't want that in my life. Right. Like, I've had friends try to, like, back in the day, try to push like mushrooms and stuff on me. And I was like, I've seen people. I personally seen that. I don't want that.
Dude, my first day of college, it was like study abroad in Switzerland. And I was sitting there just putting my shit away. And these guys walk in. They're like, you want some mushrooms? And I was like, do I know you? I'm like, what the fuck? They're like, yo, we have some mushrooms. You want some? I'm like, no. The hell? I'm like, thank you. But no. I moved out of there like 2 weeks later. Actually, less than that. It was like
I had a friend like over the last 2 years where like he went from like weed to like just started going into like shrooms and then acid and just slowly destroy his life. And I was like, this is why that saying nothing higher than weed is accurate. And even now I'm kind of anti-weed at this point. Now that I'm a father, I'm kind of anti-weed. Unless it's like a medicinal like use thing, I'm kind of anti like anything that screws with your head.
I mean, I always say like even when it comes to alcohol, it's like you should never be in a situation where you feel like you need to use an alternate substance to have a good time. That just means you have a problem. And it's not even, maybe it's not like the alcohol problem, it's not the weed problem. Sometimes it's just a problem with your own mental health where you should just find a way to be happy by yourself. But like, dude, I mean, I have a drink on average once every 2 weeks, and it's because the place where I get my haircut, it's called Scissors and Scotch. Like they give you a free drink every time. So I'm like, I'm gonna take advantage of that, brother.
Yeah.
Shit.
Oh, not? Dude, we can't. I go out and I love having like a kilt lifter with like my sandwich.
What's
I
a
go
kilt
out with
lifter?
friends?
It's
a beer. It's delicious.
Oh, is it like
dude? I'm so like prudent out. Like when I drink now, it's like I don't get beer in my fridge, like because I hate beer from like a can or a bottle. If it's not straight from the tap, I don't want it.
Yeah.
With alcohol, it's like I have to be like chilling with my friends, or we have like a cigar night. Like
the Stogue.
Oh, dude, I freaking love cigars. Yeah, I think you get older and you kind of know that limit of like, okay, where's my level of happiness like in this thing to where I'm still like I'm functioning, I'm fine, I'm okay. Am I slurring my words? Let's reel back.
It's good to have self-awareness. I have these little cigars called cigarillos. Like that's just like I don't like getting
black and milds.
Well, they're Cohiba. Like let's not try to shit on them too much. But yeah.
Swisher Sweets, I got you, Alex.
Oh my god. I've never been able to deep down that low. But dude, there was this one. It was a blueberry Marlboro over in Switzerland. I'm not a big proponent of smoking, obviously. My girlfriend is a nurse, so she definitely reminds me on the daily about not doing it. But I
smoked for like 8 years.
Yeah, that was a different experience in a very surreal way, and it also shows me how crap like the stuff that we have here is. So,
I bet. But dude, I love a good stogie. They're like, I love the ones that are like dipped in bourbon. Like they're the best tasting. Like, oh my gosh. Oh, I kind of want a cigar so bad right now. Like I could do cigars like like sushi.
We're gonna have when we have the YouTuber football game. It's you and I gonna be like freaking Joe Burrow with the fucking stokes.
I want to be like that old timer that comes out, headband, cigarette, beer.
Like literally, we're gonna have like the most negative aura of all time. Literally negative aura because of that.
Oh man, I guess
dude,
that's a wrap for us tonight, huh?
I guess so. I mean,
kind of in that.
We're in the brain rot session.
Yeah.
No, I ended up. So I throw a ball pretty much exclusively with my dad at this point because all my buddies who threw ball ended up freaking moving. So shout out to you, jackasses. But
no hate there.
Yeah, I love them, but like there's certainly some deep down animosity there. But dude, like straight up, I actually have like some recorded content for my Instagram that I'm like putting out, and it's just like when you look at yourself, because I just do it to get a tan for and then like exercise. It's like, dude, I started getting on a cut because literally 2 weeks ago, I'm like looking at myself, I'm like, damn, I got some extra pudge I got to get rid of, man. Then I look, I'm 170 pounds.
For 4 years now.
Well, I mean, like, dude, I want to get the Will Levis Pro Day physique. Like, that's the dream physique for me. Is just like
I got to come back around to Will Levis real quick. Go on.
Oh, yeah, no, it's just like that type of physique is like exactly what I'm looking for. That size to like leanness ratio. So, yeah, it's a little humbling when you see a video of yourself doing the exact same things, and it's just like we got a long ways to go, brother.
Did you see his mayonnaise commercial?
Oh my god, I think I did see it, but I just have absolutely no recollection of it.
I don't know. I guess it's a cologne commercial. I don't know if it's real. I don't know if I'm being like, if this is like a rib or something, but
like, yeah,
because it looks really good, and I laughed. So hard. Speaking of tannin, on a side note, before I got married, and this is when I was like, I guess I've been married 8 years now, so 2016. So I was in the best shape of my life from like 2014 to 2018. Okay. That's when I was like pushing weight, looking good, and I was like, I'm about to get married. I'm gonna look good in bed. So I used the tannin booth at the gym I was at, and they had the stand-up ones. So you just put on glasses and you just go in there and like you hold this little thing and you just sit in there for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So in the lead up to my marriage, I did that for like 2 weeks. And I forgot the time on one of them. And mind you, like I said, I'm trying to look good for my wedding night. So I'm in there butt naked. I got sunburn on my pee-pee.
No.
Dude, it was terrible. Can you just imagine? Just imagine 48 hours of constant like chafing. It sucked.
Dude, burnt sausage.
Dude, when I was at home,
roasted weenie.
When I was in home, literally, I couldn't wear pants or underwear because it just would rub, and it would be terrible.
Dude,
and I didn't even get that tan anywhere. I should have just naked sunbathed in my backyard, but I was in an apartment at that time, so I couldn't do that.
Well, studies show that you should not naked sunbathe because your skin barrier is much thinner around your nether regions. So,
oh yeah, I found that out the hard way.
Oh, because the burn.
Because of the burn and the shape.
Oh, I was like, we talking about some like bad developments and like DNA?
And that's why now I have to use Blue Chew.
Oh my god. And it's like, that's why I say we ball instead of we balls, because I lost one of them to that incident. Oh yeah. And that's why I gotta stay Manscaped, because when I see one of my balls getting larger than the other, I have to talk to my doctor.
Yeah. And if you ever notice them twisting, you have a problem. Go see a doctor.
Oh.
I saw that in a cartoon one day. It was like Venture Brothers. Yeah. And I thought it was a joke. I didn't know that your balls can do that. And I was like, oh, wow. And that's a serious problem that could cause a lot of pain. And holy moly. Like the things you learn just from, Adult Swim.
I know, I'm rocking in my chair because I'm like, my legs are crossed now. I'm like, damn, like it can.
Right? I didn't know that.
Stay safe, everybody.
I mean, I knew that they could, but I didn't know it's like they legit could to a point where it's like a problem.
Yeah. Ooh.
That's what we've gotten to at this point. We're now talking about
brain rot.
Yeah, genital tanglage.
Genital disentanglement. Oh. Ball lossage.
It sounds like a cough drop.
Ball lozenge.
Yeah.
Like
balls.
A lozenge. Balls. BAWL. There's a beer brand named Balls, I think. Or it's not. I think it's like a seltzer. Yeah.
I was gonna say, have you watched like old SNL skits back when it was like Will Ferrell and Adam Sandler?
Yeah.
Have you seen the one with Alec Baldwin? I want you to try my sweaty balls. They're Swedish balls, but he kept saying sweaty balls.
Dude, you're taking me back to like mid high school, like those nights where my boys and I would just pop open SNL skits for like forever.
SNL, Dave Chappelle.
Dude, that's where it's at. Dude, have you studied Moutma in this class?
Hold on, is this similar to like Sigma? Am I about to walk into a joke?
Yeah. Damn it, I thought I was gonna catch you off guard with that one. Dude, straight up, this poor guy at my work. I love this dude. Shout out to my boy Cole. But he's brand new and we have like a bunch of accounts, right? And I was just like, I was telling him, like, dude, are you taking on the Mount D's account? He's like, what's Mount D's? And I just smiled. I'm like, I'm going to hell for this. The poor guy. This is his first week too.
Yeah, me and some of the guys, we'll make jokes like that. Like, oh, you like dragons? Yeah, I guess I like dragons. Like me when I drag these. That's good guy humor. That's good guy humor, you know?
Yeah. Dude, I just was thinking like Mountma. And it's just like, I've debated.
I hear ma and I get like,
mount my balls on your chin.
I've fallen in the Sigma trap before. I think I've seen this place before. I know where I'm at.
Oh my god, I'm proud of you. I feel bad for you, the fact that you actually have muscle memory to like defend against that. Like that's trauma right there, dude. That's straight trauma.
Too many ball jokes. Walked into too many ball jokes.
Oh my god.
Walked into too many balls.
All the balls. All right, well, we're gonna cut the stream here.
Yeah.
The brain rot session has ended.
Oh man, part of me wants to like keep this in the actual video and just have like a 10-minute section of like balls.
Yeah, just like post a video that says balls.
And just timestamp balls.
Oh, just timestamp balls? No, just post a singular video and just title it balls with no caption. Just balls.
Because I feel like this was a very well traveled, like we talked about the dangers of sunbathing, possible testicle diseases.
Well, no, I was talking about my throat. Like we went from Will Levis to like me tanning while throwing a football to you tanning.
Will Levis set this whole thing off.
It's all Will Levis's fault.
Mind
dude.
you, Will Levis, who just had a sex tape this summer.
My guy. I know, I saw that. That guy's legit for that.
Did you?
Yeah. Oh, I didn't see it. No, I didn't see that. Hey, man, you know what? No. I ain't into stuff like that. I'm gonna be hunted. Right now, I don't need that. But
I don't need that much Will Levis in my life.
Yeah. It's like I may want to like be of that physique. I do not need to see that much of it. I'll just say that.
Come on, man.
I only aspire from like upper waist and up to be like Will Levis. So I don't need to see below that. The rest is fine.
I have a Mayo joke, but I'm not going to say it.
Oh my god.
Just know it's there. It's an easy
I was
joke.
really hoping I was really hoping to get the Moutma joke on you.
Oh no, dude. No, I'm schooled in the Sigma. What can I say?
God, dude. I might have to find someone else to do that too. Should I do it to freaking Marcus Mabau?
Dude, Marcus right now is grinding the hell to get those deep dives out while trying to take some
Whitman
as well.
Oh,
I was
that'd
gonna
be so
say,
funny.
hey, you could try. It might fall on deaf ears with Marcus.
Dude, yeah, poor TFG. Like freaking Marcus, he's gonna like, dude, man, you gotta study Moutma. That'd be great to get. Like if I could get Sam Monson, it just
did you see have you checked out their new
I haven't seen the new one. It's on 33rd team, right?
Say it into the mic or something, or check the mic.
No, I didn't know they started releasing it.
Yeah, I started following it. It's good. It's just like their PFF show. It's great.
Yeah, that's why I love that they came together.
Yeah, they're a great dude. It's nice to see also Mike Renner. I don't know where he's at, but at least he's still tweeting about the draft.
Right. No, it's good to see that. Home dog.
Yeah, I ended up writing down a tight end that he listed out there.
Which one?
He goes to Ole Miss. He's so he's gonna be there with what's his name? Price-Scorn?
Yeah. Whatever the hell it is.
But he actually I think he initially played at Virginia Tech though. So he just transferred over. So I don't know if he's exactly gonna be seeing a lot of snaps, but his name is Daquan Wright. He's mad young. Like he's currently 21. Okay. And he turns 22. No, actually he turns 21 next September. This September. So he's mad young. He's probably going to stick around for a year. I thought you were frozen for a second. I was like,
I just started
to be frozen on.
I was like, I was like debating who I can get with a Moutma joke. I'm like, do I dig? That would be hilarious. Brett would just like sit there in disappointment too. Marcus would be a complete awkward silence.
He'd give you a smile. Marcus has opened up quite a bit.
Yeah, but like not to a Moutma joke. There's a certain point where I don't think he'd be very receptive.
He's not on that level yet.
Yeah. He's getting there. He has to have kids first in order to like be able to appreciate the
how old is Marcus? Is he even 30
28?
Yet?
28, 29?
That's so wild. He
might be
much
30.
older.
Yeah,
well, not in a bad way. This may sound
you just calling the brother old.
This may sound stupid coming from a bearded white man. A bearded, bald white man. But I thought I was younger than Marcus. Maybe it's because I feel young at heart, but I thought I was younger than Marcus.
I mean,
like I was confident. I was so confident.
You look younger than what your actual age is. So that's the start.
I don't think that's true because I'm bald. I got a beard to cover up the baldness.
The limited presentation of you looks younger than your age.
The limited. Let me tell you, below the camera ain't limited. I don't know what you're trying to get at there, bud.
I don't know. You've said otherwise.
I told you that in confidence.
You said it to the
And I need the blue chew.
Dude, okay, for all y'all who are still watching, which apparently it's actually technically 2 under the all-time high of the show. Again, I don't know what the hell's wrong with y'all. Now it's 1 under.
Don't criticize the people for watching.
I love y'all for doing it, but I don't understand it. I already actually reached out to Blue Chew, deadass. And they said they're not in the mood to do marketing campaigns. So, unfortunately, the Blue Chew dream will be put on hold until we get a little bit larger, I guess. Yeah. I tried to leverage your channel size too. Wow, this is still alive? Screw you too, Brandon.
Okay.
No,
look at you. Why are you so angry? So angry.
Dude, it's 11. It's past 11. I'm like all in hostile mode. And I'm pissed that Blue Chew didn't accept our stuff.
Yeah, they killed my chub.
But we got to get Manscaped back. They're so easy.
They are because they have so many different representatives and they don't talk to one another. So like,
well, I mean, when was the last time you were sponsored by Manscaped?
It was like probably 2 years.
Okay, for me, it's been 4.
Okay, yeah.
So it's like my channel is 100 times the size.
But what I learned is like when you go to reach out, like you get a different representative and then they have no prior knowledge that they've worked with you before.
Oh,
I don't know if it's changed since then, but it's like they have like unless
dude, I
you're
gotta do
like
code
someone that they
mount
bring
now.
on, and it's all up to that one individual person if they want to like try to take you further. So like it's super wonky because I think again this is now me just kind of guessing stuff based on how they interacted with me. Is like you kind of just become that person's commission. Unless of course you're like a like super big creator, right? You actually bring in like again, or I'm talking about guys that get like on the constant millions of views per month,
right? Not us, sadly.
Are you kidding? I don't know if YouTube keeps going the way it does, man. I don't know what I'm gonna do, like because they're just paying less and less. YouTube for ad rev, yeah. That's why I keep trying to find the other means of
means.
Yeah.
The other means of means.
Yeah, just trying never to solely rely on freaking ad rev and maybe sponsors, and then of course the draft guide, which I just released.
There you go.
So instead of just Alex watching it, they are the Uber of video. Is that a good thing?
Maybe.
Or does that mean we've been around town? I'm a married man. I don't get around anymore.
I don't get around. I'm in a relationship. I don't have time to get around, man.
To be fair, I do bring quite a bit of people on my channel. I kind of act like
they cut rates over time. I don't know if that's true. Maybe it is.
Well, I mean, I know a lot of people in the general like content creator sphere has been complaining about ad revenue and the direction it's been going. And I've kind of noticed that. Like,
I mean, my ad revenue's dipping as well compared to what it's supposed to.
Yeah. I mean, I'm doing about the same I did last year.
Yeah.
I haven't checked if that's like on similar views or not. I do know this past draft season, I had more views and made less.
Oh, never mind. I'm actually doing way better. But that's also because I'm posting more videos.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But like I've heard like Wrestle Talk, like some of the people in the wrestling sphere, they're getting less ad revenue. I've heard this from like some political commentators. So I mean, I've even heard from about everybody. I've heard it from some of the other channels I check out, like some of the guys that do like 3D animation, like whatnot, and I'll do like skits with it. Can you give a 2025 draft preview for me before I do my in-depth scouting starting in a couple of weeks? Literally check out the videos on our channel. Like we give you a very good in-depth of the players that we like and have watched. I might do a big board coming up this week.
I'm realizing I also took a 10% cut in terms of revenue this year. I on the same views and theoretically higher watch hours, I've earned much less.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, again, I'm looking at this year. Like last year, I got 1.1 million views, and then it's like I brought in just under 10 too. And this year so far, I got 1.1 million views, and I got more watch hours, and I'm just under 9.7. So maybe it's because of Christmas time. There might be some extra boost in revenue there. Maybe they're just.
I always hear the opposite for people that like after Christmas, like January is typically the worst month for creators, and typically I think it's good for us because it's around that the beginning of the draft cycle.
The playoffs.
I think it's a little inverse for us because typically January is really good for me.
Yeah, no, January. So March has consistently been my best.
April's always my best month just because that's when the draft's in. Yeah.
Oh,
like April's it starts off slow because I think people are fatigued.
Yeah.
And then once we get close to the draft, like it's a lot of money that I say a lot of money. It's a lot of money for me that comes in.
Well, I mean, it is a lot of money. Theoretically, we are doing something theoretically,
that people I'm not. Yeah, I'm not out here making a fortune.
I mean, I literally just straight up quoted the exact amount of money that I've made, so you guys know, based on the amount of hours that we put in, it's not like that, unfortunately, and that's okay. Like it happens.
For now, it's okay.
I mean, it's irritating, but it's okay.
One of these days, because let me tell you, my dream, I don't know how I'm ever going to do it.
Yeah.
Is to actually have like a site with draft evals and a good mock draft simulator.
Yeah. It's that's such a pain in the ass, if I'm going to be honest. And it's like, I don't even know if there's a return on investment for that because of the big juggernauts that put a ton of money in to boosting it and the algorithms and all that stuff, man. Like, that's the dream, though. That is the dream. It happens. I mean, now, I'm trying to gear up to try in a couple of years pivot to ESPN or like one of these places to try to get my own show or be a part of it.
Corporate show, got it.
I mean, at the end of the day, if I can maintain the side show, because I know a lot of these guys who go on these TV shows, they also have their like own side stuff.
Yeah,
like I'll do that.
Bleacher Reports have been bringing in a ton of creators.
Yeah,
because I've seen that from some of the more NFL like team specific channels.
Yeah.
So it's like
I would not be against affiliating with a larger brand. I'll say that, as long as they aren't making me say certain things. I will absolutely give them the biggest middle finger possible if they try to make me do something that's not what I actually want to say.
Yeah.
You could give me a topic I don't want to do, but don't give me lines that I don't want to say.
Tell them Daniel Jones is good.
Daniel Jones is good in the XFL. It's now the UFL.
I mean, honestly, though, is it? Wait, so they go by the UFL?
Yeah, it's
the
USFL and XFL combined for the
so much better.
XFL sounds sick, but
it does. It does. On a side note, because honestly, if I knew like web design, if I knew how to do it like a mock draft simulator, which apparently like we've talked about that for years, how expensive it is.
It's over 10,000.
Yeah. I ain't got cash like that.
That's how much I made last year.
Well, shoot.
Yeah, I'm like, as much as I would love to do YouTube as much as I say it, like I'd be willing to do YouTube for free, there's a certain point when you start watching players that you do not like that you realize you would not do that part for free. There's a limitation to what you do.
Yeah. Oh, what positions are strong, weak, or deep? Top heavy. I'll go first. Corner is very strong.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd say it's top heavy. I think it's pretty good throughout thus far from what I saw.
It's a good balance.
Yeah, I think quarterback could be weak. It's just a couple of guys got to perform. Not weak. There's just not that top guy.
Yeah,
there's not a top 10 guy in my opinion.
It's top light. It's very.
But again, every year there's that guy that comes out of nowhere.
Right.
Right now we're just kind of waiting and seeing. Running backs, great. There's not a Bijan, but I think this is probably this is
very stacked.
This is going to be a very good class. Wide receivers typically always good.
Yep.
I think we're just kind of accustomed to that now at this point, that typically wide receiver is going to be a good class. I think tight end's going to be better than expected. I think it's going to be better than this past year.
Yeah.
At least in terms of the depth. Yeah. I mean, of course, you don't have Brock Bowers, but
depth-wise, 100%.
Yeah.
You got multiple starting quality tight ends.
I don't know where I'm at on this tackle class yet. I think the top couple of guys are really good. And then after that, it's kind of like,
That's why I can't wait for you to watch Marcus. But yeah, no, I have my concerns. I have 4 starting grades for the tackles, and then 2 of them I think are probably going to be not guaranteed to be tackles. And theoretically, 3 of them can be, because Mr. Mabau is 305, so some people might kick him into guard. But I do think he could last as a tackle. But like, yeah, then I only have 2 fringe guys, and I just have a ton of developmental and backup, like 9 developmental, and then 11 backup from there. And then I have some guys who are.
It's going to be a defensive heavy class.
Yes.
Yeah, because linebackers in a better spot this year. Edge is going to be good. I think Edge was good last year too.
It was. It just wasn't very top.
I think the interior class is much better this year.
The DI class has some dudes. To be fair, I liked last year's class slightly.
Last year's class wasn't bad. It was just
the top.
You really get to that second, third round, it's like, oh, these are day 3 players.
Yeah.
And I think this class potentially won't have that, because there's a lot of guys I'm excited about on like day 2.
Yeah, I mean, hell, you could even talk about Walter Nolan, who's partially like a day 1 pretty much guy from Mox. I mean, like, that's someone who
probably will just be there from that for him. That's just tools.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, safety is a good class.
Safety is a really solid class.
Yeah, it's just defense in general, dude. Defense is good.
Defense,
defense is, I think, borderline.
Line is mid.
Yeah, you get to the interior, I'm like, some of these guys are sus.
That's where you really have to start praying for the offensive tackles to maybe be like.
Yeah, because I don't think you're going to get that with the guards or centers. And it's not like I've gone deep onto the interior, but thus far I've been like
Emory Jones, I thoroughly believe he definitely could be kicking into guard. But like, you got the top guys in Booker and Jackson. Like, those guys are phenomenal. And then you got Roberts. Like, you do have your top end pieces.
Yeah, Roberts is going to be, I think, someone who probably shoots up. But you know what the problem with him? He's got that Alabama stink on him.
I mean, but dude, this guy is going to put up 40 bench press reps. Easy.
Yeah, when I saw that in Bruce Films' Freaks List, I was like, I want to see more of that on the field, because there are times he gets ragdolled, but I think it's more just out of position for him. Maybe let me go look at my exact write-up, because I literally labeled it as functional strength and not like play strength for very good reason.
I just have more mechanically raw. But I mean, even then, it's like we're looking at the interior class. There's still some good guys. I mean, there's not a bad group except maybe tackle, because there's, 3 of my top 4 dudes are potential guard.
Yeah, you're right mechanically. Yeah, because I put gets upright, quick in engagement.
He's very toesy. He
wide hands.
Yeah,
gets more violent pass rushers. They get inside and they're able to control the rep.
Right.
Yeah, but dude, I mean, he's got the size and speed to play tackle.
That's what I was saying. That's why I have him listed as an offensive lineman. Same thing with Booker and Jackson. If you wanted to kick him to tackle, I don't think it would be a shit show.
Right?
I don't know why they don't try that. Like, guards are far easier to acquire, in my opinion, than tackles, just because I think there's more of a focus on developing edge rushers in college than defensive interiors. Hot take. But I mean, for me, when I see a tackle that has or a guard that has arguably tackle length and has a solid ass anchor, it's like, why not put him at tackle? See what the hell happens.
I think there are 6 tackles I'm fairly confident are day 1 or day 2 players.
Right.
And then everyone else is like, golly, you might be a 3rd rounder, but you might be just day 3.
Right. So, like, for me, my top 4 guys, like, I would be fine with them in the first. Then I have my 2 other guys who I'd be fine, like.
So you said top 4, and you don't include Emory Jones as a tackle, right?
I am including.
Oh, you are? Okay, because I have 3.
Yeah, I'm including. And I don't have Kelvin Banks in that top group. I had
like
somebody.
Banks. He's my top
I
guy.
know. I know.
I mean,
Yeah, we
it's so
talked
close
about
between
that.
him and Campbell, but I really
Yeah.
like Banks. I think Banks.
I just didn't fall in love with him. I thought he was still good. Don't get me wrong there. I think there is a tier gap, but we'll see. I mean, especially this year without having AD Mitchell there and having a lot more deep speed, we'll see probably longer engagements to where Kelvin will either prove me wrong or else maybe bring up some more questions.
Is it Eduardo?
Yes, Eduardo
Okay.
Fuentes.
Yeah, I'll let you know when I get Montana State tape.
Marcus Ware? Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I don't know how I'm gonna get.
Yeah,
I don't
that's a
know
big
where you're
question
gonna
mark.
find that.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
At least this early in the process, I don't know how you're gonna find that.
I'm gonna go actually to my tackle rankings, but that I'm gonna be posting tomorrow. So stay tuned for that if you guys want to see some fun stuff.
I'm gonna check them out because I'm kind of curious. I need some names because
So
I'm about to go back and look at guys and get evals done.
Like for my projections, I'm looking at the guys who I ended up putting as like top 75. Those are like usually the guys who I assume probably will go within the top 64, but I just don't want to be like ballsy about that. Looking at it, so I have 1 for Urzuri. I think Urzuri might be 1. Armand Membu, but he's not going to be drafted as a tackle. I'm not going to
love
include
Urzuri, dude.
Urzuri's so fun. He needs to work a lot as a pass blocker, but he is so freaking fun as a run blocker. Let's see, Banks, Miller. My number 4 guy that I'm going to leave nameless. My number Will Campbell, Emery Jones, and I don't think Marcus will. So yeah, 6 guys that I'll see in the top 2 rounds, and then it's really TBD.
I will say Tristan Lay is a guy I'm rooting for out of Clemson.
Dude, yeah, no, he's I think it's Tristan. It might be Tristan Lee. I'm not sure, but
you know what? I could go both ways.
Same. That's what I was just about to say it, and I'm like, I'm gonna like let you know that I'm not correcting you. It's more of like a me thinking thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tristan Lee, I'm gonna be honest, he's a really good athlete, and I'm rooting for him because he's actually active on Twitter as well, which is super cool. But I really have an issue with his overall game. There's just, I think he was just way too high.
Anytime I was watching a defensive prospect and I went to Clemson tape, he popped out, and I was like, "Oh wow!" And it wasn't Blake Miller. It's the other guy, right? Blake Miller. It wasn't Blake Miller that was.
I mean, Tristan is just really athletic, and he has some pop to his hands. Like that's what I love about him. It's really like, yeah. I mean, I'll talk about it tomorrow because I'll just act like what I do. Like, you know this. I just actually read one of my games from my scouting reports. That, I mean, I might as well. It makes it so much easier to talk about the players too, because I remember I got a comment, and this is also why I tell people be a dick, but don't be a dick about it. It's like someone said, like, dude, I don't want to sound rude, but all you are is just kind of highlighting what your letters say. Like, oh, he's a good route runner. And it's like, I wasn't actually adding anything to it. And I was like, for my tight end video, this was the first time I did it. I was like, I'll just read the scouting report, and then you guys can hear like the actual thought process through the games that got me to these letters, to these exact grades. So I don't know. For me, I ended up like falling in love with the process through that, and it allows so much more of like my own personal touch. So that's why we as creators love you guys as fans to be able to give us some good feedback, because sometimes it really does help.
Yeah, it's how I find guys sometimes.
That too. Yeah.
Jarek Reed, he was a New Mexico safety.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was like a late day 3 guy for me, but like I was like, man, I think he could be really good as like a potential backup special teamer, and he was until he got hurt, he was a really good special teamer for the Seahawks last year.
Yeah.
So that's like good. Without the comment section, would have never watched him.
That's cool. Have you watched Trey Zune yet?
No, he's on the list of guys to get back around to.
He's not bad. I'll put it that way. He's in the same tier as Josh Simmons for me.
Okay. Simmons is interesting.
Yeah.
Simmons he was really good after making the jump to like Power 5, which is now Power 4.
Yeah. No, I like Josh Simmons. I think his game is a lot more show than tell.
Yeah.
It looks good, and I just see him get beaten. And I'm like, this doesn't add up. So I'm hoping Josh can put it all together, and I think he will. But at the moment, not so confident. But dude, Falili Famo, you know that guy, the Wazoo guy.
Yeah, Washington State. Yeah, I put him down because I saw him on Dane's list. I haven't watched him.
He is fun. Like, he has really solid mechanics overall.
And I'm gonna say, like, you look at his analytics, like pressure and sack rate, it's a bit without context. It's like, oh, that doesn't look that great, but like he also has like the most pass blocking snaps in this class.
Well, I actually have him as the guy who I want to kick to guard.
Yeah,
that's a spoiler alert. And I have him arguably as a top 100 player as a guard.
Nice.
I think there's a lot more to his game as a guard, because I'll talk about it tomorrow, but he's somebody who I like a lot. But I'm almost I probably have like 10 or 15 guys to go before I do my interior guys too. So I'll hopefully have both of those out within a week and a half, 2 weeks. So it should be fun.
That's good, yeah.
Deep dives. And then I got to do edge. I'm just going to try to do this ASAP. Oh, did I tell you I got the media, like I got media credentials to go to like all but 2 SMU games?
Yeah, you told me that, and you were really bummed about
Florida State
SMU games.
Yeah, dude. I was like, oh, that's like the one game I really want.
Yeah, because SMU literally probably has only 2 tough games on their schedule.
Yeah, it's like TCU and Florida State.
Is it TCU? Do they have TCU this year?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I thought it was. I put down Louisville and Florida State.
I think Louisville's away. That's what sucks.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have wanted to see him in SMU.
I did my this past week, or maybe it was the week before. I did my my top 25.
Yeah.
Predictions, and that's where people got messed up. They were like, because they look at the current top 25, and I was like, no, I get it. People are doing that from a talent standpoint. I literally go in and I look at the schedule, and I'm like, what could be wins and what could be losses? Like I take schedule into account,
right?
Which took some good teams and made them go down, and it also I ended up including like group of 4 or group of 5 schools. So
good.
Yeah, because I'm trying to like, okay, what is it going to be like at the end of the year? Because I also then go through the college football playoff, which, by the way, there's going to be some, whoever makes it, it's going to be meaty matchups.
Oh, yeah. There's like, I don't know if there's like an actual top dog at the moment based on.
I think there's at least 2, maybe 3 top dogs.
Well, that'll have to be something we discuss like next week or the week after.
Yeah, let's do that. We talked about it. Let's do a draft in the top 12, the college football playoff.
Yeah, I like that.
Which means when we do that, let's talk about the format real quick. When we do that, let's draft like we have to like keep in mind like the first SEC team we draft, that's the SEC champion. First Big Ten champion. And we got to include like a group of 5 school. One of us is going to have to.
Yeah.
Because they get a free buy or a free in to the tournament. Yeah. But yeah, dude, that'll be fun. And then we could run through the playoff. And I think that creates interesting conversation.
I know. I'm gonna be very intrigued, dude. You know, like last year, I was all on Penn State because I thought Drew Allar was gonna take the big step.
I think he's gonna be fine this year.
I know, but I just lost faith in an actual like big step. I was like, oh, this guy might be the number 1 pick.
Yeah, they brought in Kansas's OC, so
yeah, that's gonna be weird. Going from like Jalen Daniels and then Bean to that dude.
Yeah, but I think like now you get Aller and you like create this RPO heavy offense where he just has to make quick decisions rather than sitting back having to read the field. And
right.
I'm
debating
think
making another bet on the NCAA season based on like all that BS. I'm
dude,
like,
I still gotta go through that tonight.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do that in bed because the wife's on the pyramid, so I got nothing better to do.
All right. Well, on that note, I'm gonna call it a good night, man.
I think it was a good night. I had a good time.
It was. Yeah. No, it's good. It's good. Oh, I need to lift tomorrow. That's what I need to do.
We talked about lifting.
I know. We got a whole bunch of topics again. That's just like the beauty of Draft Bros. And once again, we're at the highest viewage count. It's probably just because no one else is on, but we love y'all. If I'm gonna be honest though, like the mock draft guy, he ended up quitting YouTube.
Yeah, I saw that.
Like I was like part of his last stream, and it's like I realized because I haven't just really listened to a live podcast in a long time, or like a live stream, and it's like it's the kickback moments that arguably are more entertaining and like more like listenable, like better to listen to than like sometimes the actual meat of the content.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna try to have him on during the draft season.
Yeah.
But
Peter's a good guy.
Yeah, he said he was willing to do cameos here and there. So
yeah. Shout out to Peter.
That sucks, dude.
I mean, I totally get it though. There's certain points where I've thought about giving it up because it's
called the summer, right?
I mean, no, honestly, it's actually during when things start kicking up and then like people just don't really know what they're talking about. Like probably like December time. That's probably the biggest time where I think about ending it. Like just quitting the show. But it's like over the past year and a half since it's actually grown to the point where it's like I'm not making like a couple $100 a year. It's like I at least now have like I don't know. It feels more wrong. Like there's more to lose by ending it, which is why I'm surprised he did it now because it's like he and I are roughly the same size. So I understand, especially since he pumps out the amount of content he does. It's like I'm told him I'm really proud of him for doing what's best for him. But it's like I don't know. There's enough that keeps me here, and then also I have some really awesome subscribers that popped up in the past year that like pretty much comment on every video. So you guys make the difference because there's a lot of douche nozzles out there.
I feed off the douche nozzles.
Still learning how to do that.
Oh, dude.
Toying with douche nozzles is sometimes fun, but I just sometimes have no patience for them.
Yeah. That's where having a wife and children come into play, where it's like
you just don't care about others.
Oh no, no. I could always just like put the phone away and
I get that.
Fun with my family.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a certain
point have fun with my wife.
Hey yo, no, there's
not tonight, of course.
Damn,
I'm not a vampire.
Hey man, sometimes a little iron's good for the blood.
Yeah, no, this ain't Twilight. I don't sparkle in sunlight, baby.
I don't know. Since you haven't been going to the tanning beds, there's always a chance.
No. If I do that, dude, I'll shave.
Oh my god. No, just wear some freaking Speedo, dude.
No.
Wear your wife's thong and just like cover up the sack, man. Don't get testy cancer.
So back in the day, when I first started dating my wife, I used to go hot tubbing with one of my coworkers all the time, and I would always wear her Spanx to hot tubbing. And let me tell you, my butt looked amazing. I get why girls wear Spanx.
I look like Sylvester Stallone with the fucking eye bags being so pronounced. The new, my new light doesn't do me really good
doing
justice.
A little Randy Orton there.
Like my new light just doesn't give me any sort of leeway if I like lean down because like I straight up look like Emperor Palpatine when I do that. So I always have to like keep solid posture in my videos now because then it's like actually it's worth it. I had the freaking ring light right here. It'd fry my eyeballs every freaking time, dude.
Oh, I got mine right here. I got one up here, and that's what I roll with.
Yeah.
Look at me. I just turned all the lights off behind me. I'm well lit. As the kids would say, I'm lit, bro.
I literally just said that.
Oh, did you?
I'm sorry. I literally just said lit, bro. And like, as the kids would say, lit, bro.
Well, I got like 10 years on you, so
you do have 10 years on me.
Isn't that wild?
Over. A little over.
A little over? Oh man, look, and I got a gray hair, like gray hair.
I got gray hair, man.
At least your gray hair's on your head.
No, it's on my beard.
Oh, I thought you were gonna
go
like somewhere else with that.
They're like blonde, but I just like I treat them like grays. I'm like, I don't give a shit. Get out.
Oh, dude, I know, right?
Yeah.
You want to talk about old wives' tales? Like, oh, if you pull out a hair, like two will come from there, like two will come out.
It's some bullshit.
Yeah, yeah. Or if you pop a zit, it's bad for your face, dude. I pop zits all day. I have smooth skin.
Yeah.
It's bull crap, dude. They've been lying to you. Santa's not real either.
Huh?
I mean, hey, dude.
If people are watching a stream at 11:40 and then they still do not watch, or they still think Santa's real, yeah, there's a very little overlap between the Santa market and the 11:40.
Yeah, these are the people that are constantly on the naughty list anyway, so they don't care.
They're the ones who wanted the Blue Chew subscription. Oh, dude! R.I.P. to Coach Vass, by the way. He did a whole ass video with Brett. Did you see the thing I sent you? The poor guy was complaining. He was like, "Dude, tell Brett to post the vid." I'm like,
no, I didn't. Wait, what are you talking about? What did you send me? Where did you send me this?
I might have just sent it to my other buddy because he sends me stuff about Brett all the time, and I'm like, because he loves Brett, and I'm like,
yeah, doesn't Brett love Coach Voss?
I know. I was like, I wanted to see that video because I remember him announcing it, and then I'm like, damn, that sucks.
What happened? I have no idea what's going on.
To you, dude. Yeah, he said I did a whole video with Brett, but he never released it. Tweet him and tell him he won it. LOL.
Oh,
and it's like, dude, I wanted that video. It's like Brett. It's probably a good video. I gotta get Brett back on.
I mean, Brett, he's constantly shouting out Coach Voss.
I know. Like Brett is like obviously zero qualms with Brett. It's just that's what surprised me. He's like, dude, tell Brett that you wanted it. I'm like, dude, you tell Brett you wanted it out. The hell?
Wait, he told you that?
No. I think he put it in the Discord chat.
Oh, I was like, what? You talk to Voss like that?
I mean, I do talk to Voss, yeah. But like,
see, that's
not about Brett.
I don't talk to people. You got friends like Mike Renner and
Brett Coleman. Sam is the next guy I'm trying to get on.
I would love Sam.
We've like connected in the DMs, but brother is very, very busy.
Oh, I bet. Maybe some of that'll lift off after he's done at PFF like fully.
Right. I hope so. I mean, I really like I told him like when things calm down.
Steve's my spirit animal, but I feel like Sam is like my brother in baldness.
See, I remember Sam posted when he had hair, and I was like, I loved it. I loved it. I was like, oh my god,
it's wonky.
Oh, that's
his Irish is showing. He's Irish, right?
Yes, he is.
Okay, I wanted to make sure it's not Scottish, and I ended up offended, like
just being an absolute douche. Yeah,
yeah, right. I'm sorry, Europe. You're basically all freaking one nation. I mean, the UK is what, as big as Texas or something?
No, Texas is way bigger than UK, I think. Texas is as big as Europe, if I'm not mistaken. Like
That's
the
wild.
continental Europe.
That's insane.
I mean, Texas is massive, though. I'm
Like,
literally
when you
looking it up.
consider like how many countries are in Europe, like actually thinking about like, oh, how small some countries really are, it's kind of nuts.
Yeah, dude, this is Texas versus Europe. Like fucking massive.
Okay, it's not like all of Europe.
It's Germany, Czech Republic, Switzerland,
Yeah, but you gotta
Belarus.
remember like the UK, like Great Britain area.
Right. I mean, like theoretically, if you're looking at it side by side, the UK is still like maybe a third of Texas, which is much bigger than I expected. But
it just
yeah,
blows
no.
my mind you could travel 6 hours and go through multiple countries.
Yeah, you could travel 8 hours and still be in fucking Texas.
Yeah.
Bum ass state. I love
Dude.
Texas though.
Yeah. Texas is dope.
I love Texas. Dude. It's Mobile this year.
I was just thinking it. I can't wait.
Dude, straight up, I told my boss, I'm like, dude, I'm taking that PTO. By the way, just know this, I'm canceling an entire Europe trip just to make sure I have PTO for Mobile. That's how fucking dedicated I am.
We're gonna get Swifty. It's gonna be awesome.
Oh yeah. I'm definitely flying in though. I'm not driving.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was gonna ask if you wanted to pick me up from the airport.
I mean, we'll rent a car. How about that? Well, I think would be smart.
I got a buddy that works at Enterprise. I don't know if he could work a deal on a different country, different state. But
like, damn, that'd be some crazy. That'd be some crazy maneuver.
Yeah. I don't know if he could do that.
He could get a good rate. I don't know.
Hit him up.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But
we'll
I think that the smart thing is for us to, I mean, the debate would be: do we stay near downtown, where you go to the bar, like it's Haberdasher, like that's where everybody goes? Like, do you stay there so you don't drive after, or do you have your place near the stadium so you don't have to wake up at like 6 a.m. just to beat traffic to basically be at the stadium? Like, there's
I don't know, how far is the stadium from downtown?
25 minutes.
But we're at the stadium
without traffic. Huh?
We're at the stadium.
Wait, what do you mean? Like, go to the stadium or downtown?
No, I'd say close to the stadium because it's going to be more important for us to get there. Yeah.
Well, you think, but it, like, the beauty is, well, the thing is, we're gonna need to get agency passes. I'll try to help us out because I have one person who I trust who might be able to get us on the field.
That'd be sick.
Yeah. It's the CEO of the Draft Network. She's the fucking
shout out the Draft Network.
Yeah. They're making a comeback.
Dude, they've put out so many freaking scouting reports.
Yeah.
I've never heard of some of these guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, power to them.
Who are the main guys kind of running it? It's not Fowler anymore, right? Ryan Fowler's gone.
No, he's gone.
It's Keith Sanchez and Damian Parsons.
Yeah. I got to meet Keith over in Mobile.
Yeah.
He's a chill
They
dude.
do good work, man. They have a YouTube channel. It's like locked in.
Do?
It's like locked in something.
I'm seeing, does Keith still follow me? Does he follow me? Yeah. Okay, good. I was like, if this guy unfollowed me, I'd be pissed.
You see, Ben Solak was on writing for ESPN.
Oh, really?
He's either writing for ESPN or they featured one of his articles.
Huh. I'm looking him up on Twitter right now. That's why. NFL draft analyst NFL analyst at ESPN.
Dude, the come up's real.
I mean, that's what's up. That's what's up, man.
Trevor's been on ESPN and NFL Network a ton.
Huh?
Trevor Sikkema.
What about it?
He's been on ESPN and
NFL
Network a ton.
Yeah. I mean,
I guess he's going to be taking over the he's gonna be one of the guys taking over for Steve and Sam.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense.
I don't know who that other guy would be though. They haven't really.
We could probably try Connor Rogers since he's working for NBC, but
I mean, he's NBC full time.
I mean, maybe there's a non-compete, but there's a chance there's not.
Yeah, but that's a lot on his plate then, because that's a morning show 5 days a week. They're gonna bring in. I don't know. They haven't really developed any talent since like Mike and Austin left.
Yeah. So, I don't know, dude. I'm super stoked for Mobile though.
Yeah.
And then
me too, dude. I'm still trying to figure out how
logistics.
Yeah, because I still want to film content while we're there.
It's just it just doesn't really work. Like, I'll just say this. Like, I think the best thing to do is just have some pre-recorded stuff and then like kind of like stream on your phone maybe and just like kind of like give a quick little recap. Just enjoy the day, man. Like, honestly, it was so much more enjoyable not having to worry about that.
Would be like directly after, like if we were able to like film from there, that would be sick.
That would be pretty cool. It just, you'd need to have a lot of portable battery packs.
Oh, buddy, I have a lot of portable battery packs.
Yeah, dude, that was a thing, man. Phones running out of charge, getting sunburnt. Like, that was the shit that got you. So, I'm very excited for what's to come. The first day, you need to get there really early because there is a line out the freaking wazoo. And everybody is in it. Like, freaking Ari Mirov was like 2 spots ahead of me. And I'm like, you're in this line? Oh, say okay.
I will say, you're gonna be the guy having to wake me up, buddy. You know, buddy, it's like a 3-hour time difference right now.
Yeah, I mean it's midnight for me.
It's about to be 10, so we're 2 right now. But by that time, I think it's gonna be 3.
Yeah. Oh, it's gonna be entertaining.
For me to adjust is gonna be freaking wild. And I have children. I'm used to going to bed early. I'm just fortunate enough where it's like it would be late your time.
Yeah. Well, we'll have fun.
Oh, it's gonna be a blast. We're gonna get one room. We're gonna sleep together. Big spoon, little spoon.
Your chicken legs will provide much warmth and comfort.
You dick.
Your words about your words. Oh, all right. I gotta call it quits.
Yeah, dude. I'm fading. I'm fading.
All right. We love y'all again. Actually, peak viewage. So God bless y'all. Don't know why you do it, but we'll see you next week. It's gonna be a blast. Stay tuned. It's gonna be a great year. Hallelujah. We'll see you later. Peace.